when like defenders.
I think it's like.
Are we live? Of course we're live. As usual, people, Deluded, I'm back again. I hope everyone's doing well and safe. First things first, I hope you're all had a good week as it's now coming to a close, where you've moved that much closer to your goals, hopes, dreams, and aspirations, and all of those good things. I hope, obviously, you're all in good spirits. I'd love to extend that to your loved ones. And as usual, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night. Now, one love to everybody who was just on my Twitch stream where, you know, obviously, we speak about football from a neutral point of view, but it was just some Arsenal therapy, some Arsenal in session. So we just focused on that. Make sure you're following on Twitch. I'll be live at 4 p.m. Now, obviously, yesterday we lost, innit? I'm going to go over it. I'm going to go over what I've got to say. Please make sure you're hitting the like button, commenting any of your opinions and whatnot. But it's a thing where I feel like a broken record. I'd like to feel everyone that's been rocking with me, whether we've won, lost, or drawn, not because I wanted to say these things for the sake of it, but I'm seeing the same games every now and again. Every game we play the same way, whether we win, lose, or draw. Yesterday didn't shock me in so many aspects. Of course, I'm disappointed and whatnot, but it's the same old, really and truly. Overrated defensive improvements, overrated defense ridden with cheap mistakes. And I'm not just talking about our defenders, I'm talking about our whole defensive outlook on the game. Very little chances created. The little chances we did create didn't put them in, you know, and we should have. I think there was a real defeative mentality because on the rare occasions you got forward, you did ask questions of Man United, but other than that, not playing well for 90 minutes. When you look at the moments of which we've conceded these goals in the 44th minute, I'm sure in the 50-something and in the 70th, we've conceded at vital periods where a team that's trying to get things down over the line, whether you're staying in a league, pushing for qualification for competitions or winning, you can't afford to. I know Arsenal fans like to do it, but you can't just focus on the first 13 minutes where we had United in our pockets. It's a 90-minute game. In the same way the season starts from August till May, there's no editing the table to say we've been the best side since this, we've been the best team for 13 minutes. We play this way week in, week out, and it's highlighted because obviously we've lost, but we've done this against Newcastle, we've done this against Watford, we've done this against Norwich, where we sat there and we said the games could have went differently. You know, at least we managed to grab 2 goals against a team that can't buy clean sheets. So at least you didn't let them get everything, although you did let Bruno Fernandes and Ronaldo get back to goal scoring ways. It's quite criminal, really and truly. It's quite criminal, you know. For me, it's just the naivety. You don't. It's easier said than done. But leaving Ronaldo unmarked in the build-up to his 2 goals, leaving Bruno unmarked. Fred is actually unmarked in the build-up to the penalty that's conceded. You know, Aubameyang not taking chances. You know, I'm going to be real. Martinelli and Saka, I can't say a bad word about them on yesterday, but they had chances they could have put in. We barely create. Our midfield doesn't do anything. Our senior players are letting us down. You know, when you can't defend and you don't score goals, you're in trouble. And it is what it is. And it's another time where Arsenal could have proven something right, where they didn't, you know, failed the test against Liverpool, failed the test yesterday, you know, bad cocktail, game management, man management, you know, lack of substitutions, the game plan, individual mistakes. It had everything in it. And I'm not going to sit here and just blame Aubameyang. I'm not just going to sit here and just blame it, you know, and just blame Odegaard for that penalty. These are games, or PARTEY. These are games that have made, these are points in the game where they've made the difference, but it's extremely poor. You can't, you know, United, the one good thing about their team is their attacking options. And big up Jadon Sancho, he had a good game. It's shaky, man. And as you lot know, when Aubameyang's got to be dropped now, you know, when you're not scoring, you and Lacazette's the better player. It's tiresome. It's tiresome. And, you know, it's a reflection. The naivety has to be a reflection on the manager, because I don't know how, we took the lead. It seemed like everything was well. Why our team sat there and fought for the best part of over an hour with United at home, where they could just see out a 1-0 lead. It screams naivety. And the manager was telling them to get further up. But I have to be honest, you know, the managers clearly told them to sit deep. You know, the only times we asked questions of Man United is when we put them under trouble, really and truly, you know, with very defeative mindset, didn't truly believe in ourselves. United 3-2 Arsenal reaction. You know, we had chances to nick the game, and for me, the disappointing thing is these lot need to understand that when you can't play well, get away. You need to get away with something. We took the lead, fair enough. It was a fairy tale. We dropped a point. We dropped points. They got back into the game. Now we got back in. We got back into the game somehow at 2-2. You need to walk away with something at that point. Life and the Premier League isn't going to give you too many chances. We failed to take heed. We got caught on the run against play, and it's poor. And I can't lie, watching the game again, didn't do enough on Maguire. Look at Maguire in the build-up play to a couple of them goals. Look at the build-up play. We did not press Maguire enough. We had no outlet. Outlets can come in three somewhat ways, people. We needed you got a midfielder who's more technical, who can hold on to the ball and relieve a bit of pressure. You have a wide man, which Martinelli done quite well against Tellers at times, or you have Lacazette there, or someone that can hold the ball up and bring people in. Don't get twisted. There was times I did like, at times we had to play and times we had to go long, but there was periods in that game, especially after we scored the first, where we're just kicking it back to United. And again, they're at home, there's hunger, there's intent. It's getting long and it's not making sense. And I think Arteta could have reacted a bit quicker. I think it's a very, very disappointed with the game plan from the manager, very disappointed with the highlighted mistakes from the senior players and whatnot. It's terrible, man. It's absolutely terrible. I think Partey had a better second half, but the damage is already done. I don't think Odegaard was as bad as people made out, but at the end of the day, he's conceded a penalty. Aubameyang, you was good for 13 minutes when we was pressing. Other than that, you was absolutely gone. You don't really know what we're doing. We can't say we're a good defensive side if we're shipping goals and making silly mistakes. We don't create. It's just a mixed bag where honestly you don't know much. Looking at both teams, as I said, this is why they're in the problems. United don't play well for 90 minutes. We don't. That's why we scored an early goal, and we didn't close out the game. It's terrible. Credit to United, their players stood up to be counted. Our players didn't, but it was really a terrible game. I'd say Ben White, even though watching the game again, his clearance that's led to the equalizer. I feel Ben White had a good game. I feel Tomiyasu could hardly damage his reputation. Can't ask Ramsdale to do anything more. Martinelli, you could have scored when Odegaard set you up, but other than that, I feel you put pressure on Tellez. There was some good battles. I feel Sancho versus Tomiyasu was a good battle. I feel Alex Tellez versus Martinelli was a good battle. Maguire had nothing to do. United were nervous on occasion, but apart from that, he didn't do much really. Again, you look at the goal again, not following runners. Again, Tavares and Smith Rowe have been caught. Ronaldo's left free and in acres of space. Rashford is in acres of space. It's quite terrible, really. A couple players could leave with some credibility, but we just terrible, man. It's very naive, and this is why I tell you lot to just calm down with drawing absolute conclusions, man. Really. But before I get into it, Tierney needs to. This from your ninth, and Tierney needs to come back into the lineup. The space, and for me, we didn't. Again. We didn't have a foothold in the game, really, so I can't question mark stuff. But I don't feel we tried to go forward with Tavares enough. Obviously, he was trying to do some step overs, but then there's no point playing him. You didn't. The method to the madness, it weren't really there, really and truly. Morning, DG. Very disappear performance. We score and sit back. It's becoming very tiresome. Senior players letting us down. That's why fans that were getting gas with top four is a myth. It's a myth, bro. Again, the handbrake. It's like these lot don't smell blood. It's like these lot think they're playing pre-season / cup games. You can just sit off, and I'm sorry, but you can't. Again, you are not going to prevent Ronaldo from scoring, Manchester United from scoring, all their attackers. But literally every attacker has had a half-decent game for United, in my opinion. Sancho, for me, best player on the pitch. Ronaldo, I feel for large parts, she kept him quiet, but he scored 2 goals. What can you sit there and say? Rashford got on the assist sheet. Bruno Fernandes ends his little barren run. And obviously, if Tomiyasu and Ramsdale don't make that block and save respectively, the scoreline's worse. In fact, there was one time where I think Bruno's whistled the ball across the box in the first half. And I was thinking, second half, why is no one attacking it? It's silly. What I don't want is scapegoating. We win, lose, or draw together. The management, the senior players could have done a lot better. Saka and Martinelli, I can't blame you lot. You lot could have scored. People can't arrest bad performances. Again, someone that's played 59 minutes of Premier League football prior to that game is looking the best player in the middle of the park. What are we saying? Like, it's terrible. Again, we're carrying too much passengers. I love Aubameyang. I'll always ride for Aubameyang, but it's time to go now. It's done. Bench thing for the foreseeable future. It's a bench thing. If Lacazette and Aubameyang are not scoring, Aubameyang's not relevant. If you're not scoring, you don't bring that into the table. Your pace dead. Like, the pace don't mean anything. We're not going to find you. So for me, we'll cover Everton. Saka, if you're fit, Saka on the right, Martinelli on the left. And then obviously Lacazette through the middle. I think that's the only positives I could say if you were trying for me to find positives. Smith Rowe scored from the outside of the area against Man United. We've got agendas. Martinelli, I hope he's played his way into the team. You know, I think Tomiyasu was decent. That's it. You know, we scored 2 goals. They didn't keep a clean sheet. That's it. Other than that, anytime you take the lead and don't hold on to it in the Premier League is poor. Didn't create, didn't build sustained pressure, decided to sit back on our own half. The long ball thing isn't working because we haven't got the personnel. But at the same time, the manager must be telling you to do that. Maybe the players are following the game plan too literally, like Ramsdale's alluded to, or maybe Arteta's game plan's wrong. I think Arteta genuinely told them to sit on the edge of the area. And very early on, you could see him saying, get further up. So what's happened there? I'm no footballing man, but United's a big pitch. All I've been saying in my previews of that game, the United pitch is massive. That was always a myth. Our midfielders don't help out in wide areas. Again, off the ball, very naive. That's what made the difference for United. They had street smart individuals. Ronaldo and Bruno are street smart thinkers. We want to switch off. And you can get away with them fine margins against Newcastle, against Watford, against Norwich. Games where, like United, things could have went differently. You don't get them lucks there against Liverpool, like what happened. And for me, game management, because again, you can't prevent Ronaldo scoring. You can't prevent what United do. But what you can be is accountable for the standard you put in. More cheap goals. Respect to United's attack, but we've handed them goals. You haven't had to see how great Ronaldo is. You've given him a penalty. He's made a career of bagging penalties and tap-ins. He's done exactly that. Bruno Fernandes done exactly that, you know, and he's, to be fair, we could be shameless and say it's still not a goal against the top 6 side, but Bruno's been struggling. Maguire's put in a convincing performance, you know, respectfully. You know, these are what you can't afford to do. You know, going to Old Trafford, you're going to have bits where you're second best, where you have to clear your lines, where you have to go long, where you have to play out from the back. I'm not saying don't do any of these things, but ultimately, I don't really see what the manager's doing, and it's another one where he's been probably too reactive and too defeative. You know, the captain of the ship isn't captaining the ship properly, and the lieutenants and stuff in the players, they're left to their own devices. The more senior individuals, it's appalling. And for me, I would rather the senior players excelling more than the young players. I love the young players, but the senior players ain't got too much years, you know. How long is Partey and Aubameyang going to be here? So as long as Partey looks like a duck out of water in midfield and Aubameyang's gone missing, he might as well be an influencer for now, really and truly, you know. Presence not seen on the football field. It has been seen on Instagram, liking posts and things like that. Like, we can't carry people. I don't advocate agendas. Respectfully, Aubameyang, you've been a loyal serviceman to this club. We can't carry anyone. When TIERNEY's form was shaky, the man got dropped. There was no love. You know, Saka and Smith Rowe, there's been times they could have been dropped. Arguably, Partey could be dropped. I wouldn't go with it, but he could be dropped. Everyone else, you know. So he needs to feel for carrying people. Aubameyang brings nothing to the table if he isn't scoring beyond pace. And I'm sorry, I don't want to play guys for running about. You need to play people who are playing well. You know, Aubameyang might come back in form, but we need to arrest it. We tried the Disney Channel thing. Your form's been kind of with the Spurs game. Your form's been woeful. I believe in you. Go out there and make yourself a hero. You're not. You made yourself a villain again. So it's, you know, we ain't got time for it. We don't have time for it. We don't. And for Arteta, you need to get a tune out of these senior players. And I need to see what you're about. It's another game where he's reactive. You know, he doesn't try to be on the front foot. And I'm not saying don't respect United, but what are we doing? And this is why I said we're overrated defensive side. We still make stupid mistakes, still hand cheat goals. And I'm not, you know, we're going to drop points. There's no shame in isolation of losing 3-0 at United, but we're dropping points and we're going to drop more points. You know, couple of wins and Spurs are back on. They've got Norwich and someone else next. And they got a game in hand. United are back in the title race. West Ham dropped points. They're back against United and, I mean, City on the weekend. You know, we've dropped points now. You know, you add up the 3 points dropped here, the 2 points with the 4 points dropped in the draws against Brighton and Palace. Obviously, we lost against Chelsea City. You know, you have to write off them 6 points there. You write off the Brentford. That's 9 points. How many points have we dropped? Now, some of them points we've just lost because we've been poor and you're going to drop points, but you have to chase these things. Other teams around us are going to drop points, but the games ain't getting any easier. The games are coming thick and fast. No one can feel sorry for themselves. Go and do your analysis and learn from the game, and it is what it is, but you can't feel sorry for yourselves, and we can't afford to carry passengers. Aubameyang is a passenger at this moment in time, and he needs to be dropped. Like Aubameyang, I'll be real, Aubameyang lost me yesterday. You know, I've always said Aubameyang needs to be dropped. I'm never going to just be here screaming guys need to play for no reason, but you lost me yesterday. I can't. You're by yourself now. Like, you're by yourself. That performance was unacceptable. You're by yourself now. Like, the only players I have time for is Haaland and Martinelli and these players that have just come in the club. And even that, I don't buy the young thing. Yeah, they're young and they have to learn, but are you young enough? You know, you're old enough to work a computer. So could you not watch a game? Same way me when I'm doing these analytical things. I don't have nothing amazing. I have a pen and paper. I watched the game again 3 times. Well, watched the game 3 times, including twice again, including this morning. I can see Tavares. This is the mistake from the moment I've been telling you that mistake that's gonna happen with Tavares all week. I said that space in behind, you're gonna see it, and you saw it. And I'm not saying if TIERNEY played, it would have been any better, but you saw it. I said what's going to happen in midfield. I said what's going to happen defensively. I said what's going to happen off the ball. I said what's going to happen with the pressing, you know, and people sat here. Sorry, people. I'm not annoyed about the result, but I'm annoyed at people that sit here and tell me I've got agendas or I'm not positive or I'm a hater. Respectfully, pardon my language, suck your mums, because again, I can only comment on what I see. And I think if you've been watching Arsenal, you knew this performance was going to happen. This is how we've been playing from the get-go, even the winning run. Everyone wants to shut up when we've won. No one wants to talk about if Josh King gets his head up and finds Sarr against Watford because we won. No one wants to talk about the space that Tavares leaves in behind in the first half, where it's Callum Wilson against Gabriel, what kind of led to our demise indirectly in this game because we won. No one wants to talk about the lack of chance creation against Norwich because we won and Gabriel and Cedric made them slide tackles. No one wants to talk about any of these fine margins. When we win, all of you lot want to waffle about it and listen and whatnot. And DG, you're talking sense. It's nothing to do with talking sense or talking foolishness. You could just look at what's happening. This is why I tell you, lot, stop getting excited with Arsenal. You know, best thing since sliced bread 1 week. Fucking shit the next week. You lot are clowns as well. You lot, a lot of you that ask this club to show consistency, that ask, you know, all of these, a lot of the things that fans ask for, they don't reflect it within their own life. Discipline. You know, you're asking these players to show discipline. You lot don't show discipline in your consistency, in your opinions, in your own personal life. So it's all hypocritical. You know, I don't get it. We're carrying passengers. On the best of the day, we needed a striker. That game highlights we need a striker. We need an outlet, whether that comes from a winger, in midfield, holding on to the ball, or a target man. We don't create chances. A big part of us creating chances is personnel, but the lack of coaching from Mikel Arteta is very coordinated. Saying that, I did love the goal that Odegaard scored, the build-up to it. You know, the game was quite open. It was there for the taking. Above all, the mentality for the players. They couldn't arrest things themselves. And this is where, you know, don't turn on Tavares. Just don't draw conclusions. People love a conclusion, a headline proclaiming things, excitement. And I'll add another positive. I think Ben White did all right. Like I did thing he did against Liverpool. But at the same time, he got sat on his ass by Ronaldo, unfortunately. And the same thing against Jota. He's getting ripped because of other man. The thing is, you can sit back I don't agree with it, but you can sit back for a half. But you need to be Burnley do it. But Burnley are a good defensive side. Not really because they're fighting relegation, but that's them. We can't do that because we're not got mentality to defend. Come on, man. I still stand behind you, know, but this is what I tell you, lot, stop getting excited. Stop proclaiming man's here and this and that and the third, man. How come Laka didn't play DG? Did Oddy warrant a start after that Newcastle performance? I think why he started is because of Saka missing out. That was a way of getting it in, you know. That's what I feel. I would have started Aubameyang. I thought Aubameyang and Laka would be it. But at the same time, I told you, like, Laka's holding bench in this game. Silly, man. Very silly mistakes by a young defense. Hope they learn from it. EQ goal should not have happened. I don't know. What's EQ? Bro, everybody, it's always the man that are not involved. Man are screaming Lacazette, Xhaka, TIERNEY. These guys might have made it. We might have had more on the ball with Xhaka, but we've seen Xhaka pressed to death and he flakes. Let's not act. Lacazette did a madness last year, but we've been in results with him. TIERNEY's great, but we've got collapsed with TIERNEY. I would have started him. It's always the man that weren't involved. You know, it's only the man that weren't involved. Bro, Fred got man of the match, and he was trying his best to calam it for United. That he's clamping his own keeper in that. And I don't think Tavares was appalling. It's just a duck out of water, man. Martinelli was immense at times yesterday on and off the ball. Well, when Shakibi's praising him, you know he did well. And it's that, for me at points, I was thinking, do you know what? You might as well switch this to a 2, you know. You might as well find some sort of 2. Get Aubameyang and Martinelli closer together. Let them, you know, you cover the left, you cover the right. Spread the defense and press them. Force the long balls. Now, Ronaldo's Ronaldo, you know, and for me, we weren't winning the first and second battles. These are things that you can control. Winning your individual battles, winning your first and second battles, being switched on. You can't factor in what Ronaldo might do. He's an amazing footballer, but you can be accountable of what you bring to the table. And cheap mistakes. cheap mistakes. It's appalling, man. It's absolutely unacceptable, man. Make sure you hit the like button if you haven't. We're at 85 likes, people. It is what it is, man. Pepe is done. Arteta don't rate, man. Eddie, you know, I can understand bringing on Eddie, but it doesn't send a good message. This player's halfway gone out the door and you're doing all of that. Tavares can't cross. Saka can't shoot. And Aubameyang is losing confidence. El Nene assists. If I speak, I'm in big trouble. New contract time. That tells the problem with Arsenal fans. Bars on the floor. When is Arteta going to realise Aubameyang don't fit his system? I don't think it's a system thing, because for the first 13 minutes it worked. He's just not levels right now. Arteta said many times he never stops the players from pushing forward. My take is we don't have the right experienced players to push the team out. I mean, I'm not being funny, but these are... If you're in your early 20s, you've been playing football for a majority of years. I mean, Arteta can say what he wants. You look how deep the team is sat. Then he's trying to get us out. You know, is it a confidence thing? Play confident players or make them have confidence with attacking. So I don't agree with that. I think Arteta is extremely negative. I mean, I'm not going to kill Aubameyang for liking a picture on Instagram, man. He shouldn't, you know, he shouldn't be liking it, but it's a daddery thing, man. And it's just going to get man on you. And this is it. We don't understand our teammates, man. You know, Tavares did find people twice. I don't think Tavares was appalling. The inexperience is going to kill. Would Xhaka have made a difference? We might have had a bit more going forward. But again, United are going to press him. He's going to get ripped. It's a jarring one, man. Well, fuck Aubameyang and being a cool captain, man. Odegaard's only mistake was that tackle. Apart from that, he was decent. A bit of a 5 out of 10, but I'd agree, man. Obviously, people were onto him, and then he scored, and I think he was all right. But fundamentally, I'm not being funny. Whether you're a defender or not, why the fuck are you sliding in the box? Why are you going to ground? You know, Tavares made an okay slide tackle on Rashford, but Rashford's going nowhere. The ball's going out. Why are we sliding? I'm only highlighting this to highlight clearly there is individual problems. Some of these players have poor habits picked up from wherever they've come from, and obviously under the manager. And we need, you know, it's about thinking. Football, and especially defending, even attacking is a thinker's man game. Ronaldo would not be a good footballer if he couldn't think. He'd have all that ability for nothing. You know, Messi would not be a good footballer if he couldn't think. Any midfielder that you lot rate is a great midfielder fundamentally because they use their brain. The best footballers in every position are the best thinkers. Trent Alexander-Arnold gets a lot of... He's probably assisted better goals, but what's one assist that stands out? When he's taken the quick corner. Thinking's man game. When you don't think, when you think for 13 minutes and then switch off, you're not going to get nothing from the game. And these performances are going to happen again and again. I've told you, look, this is Arsenal. This is Arsenal season. Stop putting this team on a level they're not. You know, there's some of you that have got unrealistic high standards. There's some of you that standards are on the floor. There is no middle ground with Arsenal, much like us on the field, man. But you can trust me, the Old Trafford lights, man, got scared. Just like at Anfield, certain man got scared. When it's all at the Emirates, fair enough, it's not the noisiest stadium. Everyone wants to ball out. You know, for 13 minutes, the United fans were quite nervous because United started nervous. Everyone was looking around. Yeah, it's all right here. And what did G1, you was there. What did I say? You knew, what did I say on the live stream? I said, you know what time it is. Real talk, the margins are too fine in every game apart from against the top teams. You get away with them respectfully against the shit ones. You're not going to do it against United, against Chelsea, against City, Spurs on the Conte if we butt them. It's dead. Bro, Tavares is a madman, but I don't think he done any worse than other people. And again, Tierney plays every week for me, and he was out of position. And you know, between him and Smith Rowe, they fucked up for Ronaldo's first goal. But I don't think he was that bad. I actually feel Tavares was more disciplined than I thought. I actually wanted him to attack a bit more. I wasn't a fan of when he got gassed. He tried to do a million step overs. And, you know, I wonder if the Portuguese national team manager's been watching the midweek Premier League games, Carl. The Portuguese players been moving mad, you know. Bernardo Silva's done a mad thing. Jota did a mad thing. Ronaldo somehow managed to steal the headlines from them. You know, Bruno's got back into goal-scoring ways. You know, Deluded put in a half-decent shift. Tavares didn't stand out, but got to play. I wonder what the Portuguese gaffer was doing this week. Portuguese affair. Portuguese speaking affair, if you include that Fred and Martinelli were on the pitch along with Gabriel as well yesterday. And this is the thing, when you know, he shouldn't be scapegoated. You know, again, I don't think anyone should be scapegoated. But unless last time I checked, there's 11 footballers on the field. We can talk about maybe Tavares switching off. We can talk about PARTEY, maybe even to do more. Odegaard's performance, Aubameyang's performances all over the field. But you know, we win, lose, and draw together. You know, we don't do this alone thing. So everyone played a part. You take away Odegaard's missed penalty. I mean, foul. Yeah, it might. You could say it's going to be 2-2, but did we do enough to get anything out of the game? Yeah, Aubameyang and them man have missed chances, but did we do enough? Tavares might have switched off, but across 90, did we do enough when you isolate that incident? No. Goals change games, errors like this change games, but we win, lose, or draw together. Allow the scapegoating thing. Talk about it. He could have done better, but we're in this together. And one thing I don't like, you're not allowed to criticize Mikel Arteta. And again, I know people want to scapegoat and things, but on our channel, we don't do that here, people, do we? You know, one thing I don't like around discussing Arteta, when Arsenal win, had Arsenal have won yesterday, big performance with Aubameyang, this, that, the whole rhetoric would have been with the players, but would have been with Arteta. So when we lose, why is it always the players, the club, they're young, they're this, they're that, and then we can't say, yo, Arteta could have done this, could have done that. I'm not saying to blame him, but it's a top 6 game. Very naive. For someone that's meant to be a tactical masterclass, very naive. You've never had a better chance of beating Man United at Old Trafford in the last 17 years. Our record is poor. Fair enough, they haven't beat us too many times in the Premier League of recent, so we'll let them have their day, but it's not acceptable. And for Carrot, big up him, man, because I actually think he's going to make a decent manager somewhere if that's what he wants to do. Tavares is all right, man. Tomiyasu had up Sancho, couldn't beat him. Disagree with that. I think it was a good battle. I think Sancho won a couple. I think Sancho was their most dangerous player. He's actually been involved in 2 of the goals. You know, Sancho's passed it to Fred and Fred has got fouled. Sancho, and before that, passed it to Fred and Fred slipped in Bruno. I think there was times Tomiyasu won it. I think it was good battles. Just like with Martinelli and Telles, I think there was good battles there as well, personally. Nuno is a dangerous player. Prefer him over TIERNEY. I mean, I prefer TIERNEY, but I'm happy with them. You know, Tavares is going to get better. You know, he had a better game than at Anfield. He weren't appalling. He can save face, and he doesn't necessarily deserve to be dropped. Why do you know? You can have your favorites. I'm not saying you shush. I'm talking in general. Why do fans always do this? Car, you prefer TIERNEY. You got to slate Tavares, or because you're rating Tavares, you have to slate TIERNEY and stuff, man. It's jarring. Why not? We've got both of them. You know, at a point, and again, where's G1? I keep mentioning him because he was in the live stream. I said, you know what, yeah, you might as well take off Aubameyang, slap Tavares further forward, and just slap on TIERNEY right now because that's looking better than what we could throw on, really. I can't lie to you. Getting midfielders is more important than getting a striker. Disagree, but agree. I wholeheartedly agree, but disagree. I agree because midfield is a priority for me. I disagree because, bro, we're not scoring. If you're not keeping clean sheets like that, I know we've got 4 or something, and you're not scoring, it's not going to put you in good things. Now, United might not keep too many clean sheets, but if they keep scoring, that's a positive ratio. We were all right. I don't think it's a Mazza. We did miss Xhaka, but then what, you know, every week I would say for Arsenal fans saying that, you know, you never, you said that against Spurs. You never said that after. There's been games that he's been ripped. I think Xhaka makes a difference, you know, but there's been games he's been ripped as well when we've played. It's always the one that's not involved. And I would say the standard of players that we cried at that we're missing, that tells you the position we're in. I don't think the defense is the problem now, Arsenal, to be fair. Fair enough. I think defense is, you know, we don't defend from the front well enough. You look at the goals they scored, people are switching off, and then defenders are switching off. So I do think it is. There's not a single positive area consistently for me, man. I don't understand scapegoating, man. How exciting can Tavares be when man are just over dribbling too many skills at the wrong time and runs fast? His defense is woeful. Tavares has good attributes, though. He just needs a bit of coaching and when to do the mandem thing. On the plus side, he's got mad energy. I mean, I'm not going to praise a man for having energy. Professional footballer, you should be fit, much less a fullback, but facts. Not even turning him, but I'm not going to be up his batty paws. We've seen TIERNEY for over a season and Tavares for 2 months. Let him develop. This is the thing. Fans are too quick to proclaim things. He's been in there for about 5 games. Has he signed a 5-year contract? That's it. let's be honest, the reason people are saying Xhaka is because Partey or Nene, Ainsley are whack. And this is the thing with Arsenal, because they weren't saying that when Partey played against Liverpool. They wasn't really saying that when he played against Spurs. They haven't been saying that. There's hot takes. Partey needs to do a lot more, but it's not true, you know. Oh, Nene's whack, but they're up his ass because of last game and last year. And so, you know, probably saying new deals again, like fans used to say. Ainsley's hit and miss as well. You know, Xhaka, I wouldn't even say is the best of the worst. I think Partey is better than him, but none of them names there have consistency at the required levels. The defense wasn't the problem. Literally, midfield and strikers. Sometimes I don't think I'm watching the same game. Trust me, midfield missing, strikers not doing anything. Defenders did switch off, but our whole aspect to defending is terrible. You know, the way the midfield defended and the strikers defend, they let them down. You know, Ramsdale can leave with his reputation enhanced. Tavares switched off for one of the goals with Smith Rowe, in my opinion, and we switched off. But, you know, Ben White's actually given the ball away for the first goal. But I can't say they're the reasons we lost. Centre halves. You know, Ben White and Gabriel did all right. Ramsdale the same. The back five, if anything, Tomiyasu did really well. They're the only ones that can say they did a thing. Midfield need a lot more, you know. And it's the young ones. You know, Smith Rowe, let's be honest, he didn't do much, but he did more than a lot of men. I mean, if Pepe's going to leave, fuck him then. Pardon my French, but I'm not. The gloves are off. Like, I don't really care about a lot of these men. Like, I love Pepe. I love Aubameyang. But these men are not guys I'm going to cry over. Like, whoever wants to leave the club, man. Whoever's not on this thing, leave, man. I'm not on it. Like, this is what drives me crazy. Like, these players, if they want to leave, every week we're crying for players that don't cut the mustard because they're not involved. I mean, you see Tavares walking back as well. This ain't going to turn into no Tavares versus Tierney team. Big up my guy Ali as well. Arteta chatting because our players look like they have no freedom. What do you think of a front four of Pepe, Martinelli, Smith Rowe, Saka? Run it, man. Like, bro, nothing's working. So you might as well try a thing, innit? Like, try a thing. As I said, for Everton, Martinelli, I know you excelled on the right. Oh, do you know what's funny as well? Do you know what's funny? Do you remember when some of you used to fight me? Oh, Martinelli can't play on the right. You know, the same people that used to fight me when I used to say Saka is a right winger. All of a sudden, Martinelli played well on the right. As I said, he's a grown man now. Should be able, obviously, he can play better on the right or up front, but he should be able to play on the left, up front, or on the right. Same with Saka. All of these wingers should be able to play on both sides. And we should get to a level as a football club where they're actually switching. So why not, man? The form, you might as well try a thing, innit? Martinelli's got a reason to want to play well. Smith Rowe and Saka, reason. Pepe, you've been starving. Why not, man? The way we're playing, there's not too much that's going on. The only thing you could say is leave the back five alone. Arguably debatable between Tavares and Tierney. Apart from that, so I'm if, man. Darren, trust me, it don't make sense, innit? I understand if they want Pepe, but people are giving out about Aubameyang and then going mad when Eddie comes on. That's the issue. We can all call out the issues, but we don't have the solution on the bench. I hear you, but at the same time, I can't criticize bringing on back Eddie. It don't look good to me, because this is a man that just turned down a deal. You're looking at him to change the game and all these things, maybe putting him in the shop window. But, you know, can we really be surprised? We've got a striker on the bench. We're bringing him on when the other one isn't. You know, I didn't even think about Arteta would sub Aubameyang. He needed to go sooner, but nonetheless, yeah, man. Arteta hates it when we pass back. When I went to the game versus Newcastle, every time we went back, he lost his mind, as he should. There's a level of frustration. I sympathize with Arteta because he can't go out there, but at the same time, you need to. Why are they doing that? You know, it's a confidence thing or something you're doing. They don't have the confidence to play out from the back or keep the ball. These guys that are poor technicians, anyways. But there's something for Arteta there. I can't not blame Arteta for yesterday as well, because if we won, I would have praised him as well. Overall, the performance wasn't awful from Arsenal, facts, but they never really committed when going forward at any point. Every attack looked timid apart from corners, exactly, and add that into the middle, add into the mix the individual mistakes. I think that's a great summary act of the game. Bless up, DG. Do you think Arteta actually the Eddie? I don't know what you're saying there, my guy. Can't lie to you. Is he more negative due to how he picked up the team? I know this. If this is the case, we need to fix it next window. We're limited, bro. Like, I can't. Oh, bro, you haven't got no technicians in the middle of the park. I mean, I'm getting bored doing reviews of games because every week, win or lose, I'm saying, you lot are literally saying, did you hear me say this game highlights the lack of midfielders? Yeah, if it, PARTEY and NUNEZ, we're trying to be in the trenches and stuff. It worked last year. But the minute it became clear there's space, it's a balling thing. Team, both teams are there. Listen, both teams could have conceded a lot more. Let's be real with ourselves. We ain't got that. It's predictable, it's timid, and it's not a lot of these man's skill set. Bag of meaty man, bro. Famous DG quote: for Arsenal to win, it needs to be sunny, pitch needs to be cut to perfection, ref needs to be on our side, crowd needs to be loud. Bro, it's upsetting, man. I don't think the performance was the worst, but again, I can't say it wasn't bad if there weren't mistakes. I mean, all three teams were gifted. All 5 goals, all 3 goals United scored and we conceded were gifted. And I mean, realistically, let's be a bit sensible. Arsenal players are clearly not at Newcastle level. This is the sort of stuff, I mean, we don't need to exaggerate to make a point. Clearly, they're not at Newcastle level. We're not fighting relegation anymore. Let's be a bit sensible, man. Let's get to 200 likes. Big up, everyone. Love the comments, but 200 likes. Speedy says stylish. Come on, my guy. Appreciate that. We're at 145. Interesting comments, man. That match could have went either way. If you look at the stats, we had more possession, more passes, and more shots. Just mistakes cost us the game. But that's the theme of everything. That's the theme of the Liverpool game. That's the theme of probably Man City until the red card. That's been the theme. The match could have went either way. It didn't, though. We didn't, And again, the variables we can control. We can't control what United do. We can control their mistakes. We can control attacking intent. We can control shooting with a bit more of conviction. And we still probably could have got something and made it 3-3, but we didn't. So I hear you, but I'm tired of it. We're saying that every week, man. What? Hey, Sandra, if you're free, come on now then. Do you feel Pepe should have been playing last night? Just in terms of an outlet, why not? But I don't think I'm gonna cry, man. I mean, Arteta has to take blame as well. He can't just blame the players. Like, what was the game plan? Like, the experiment of forcing Smith Rowe and Odegaard, we could see it wasn't happening. Second half, when we conceded that goal, do you remember in the watch along? I said this second half is all about how good of a manager Arteta is. You could see that second goal was coming. You could see Smith Rowe was getting tired. You could see the gaps. You could see there was no outball. The players are not going to go long if they have a target. So I mean, Arteta's put the players out there. I don't think Arteta is to blame more than the players for that game, but let's be real with ourselves. Everyone has to take accountability, or we're just sounding like dickheads and doing this agenda thing. If we're real, it's a collective thing. We win, lose, and draw together. What we need to accept is Arteta is not the only reason we lost. Odegaard might have fucked up, but he's not the only reason we lost. Come on now, we're not sounding sensible. Anthony from Ajax needed, not if he's the Anthony from my Football Manager thing. I can't lie. Man like DG getting me through the office today. Big up, I appreciate you, my guy. And the only positives I would say is Martinelli and these sort of things. The young players are doing what they can, man. The rest are just fucking up the base, man. DG, I think Tierney will respond well when he gets his chance again, but we need someone like that. Bro, we need options. Fans cry about options. Tierney, if you're fucking about, you're not playing. Tavares, if you're fucking about, you're not playing. You, man, fight each other. Best man wins. Simple as that. Man say they want that on the right-hand side. They want depth. They want options. They want competition. You've got that. This is it. It was a game of ifs and buts. Anything could happen, but it went United's way. And that happens too many times. We said that against Chelsea. We said that against Liverpool. We said that yesterday against United. We said that with Man City. Now, obviously, these games, the Chelsea and City games are different. But are you not bored of saying? And we've been saying that under Mikel Arteta already. You go back to the Chelsea game, first game at home or whatever. We keep saying that. Are you not tired of losing in the same aspects? Listen to yourselves. It's not making sense. You lot are just, some of you have just got your Arteta in caps on, your Arteta out caps on. I hate this player. I love this player. So you're just looking at this thing with rose tints. You're not looking, your eyes are shaking you. There's your opinion. There's my opinion. There's the facts. The facts are we fucked up. We conceded in the 44th minute, in the 50-something minute, 20 minutes before half time. That's not good game management across any of them aspects. We've conceded 3 goals. It's not good enough. Our away form, not good enough. Individuals standing up to be counted, let alone taking chances, let alone us knowing they're there. Not good enough. The gaffer, not good enough at this moment. I need Smith Rowe back in the 10. I can't hack left wing every game. Fact. I just don't want to carry anyone, man. If you're not playing well, you need to come out of the team, man. Simple as that. The defenders were outnumbered from offensive players from United. Exactly. What are United going to do? Create 2v1s. But again, defending comes from the front. Same way attacking comes from Ramsdale. Now, when Ramsdale gets that ball, it's great. When it goes to Ben White's put a lovely ball over to Aubameyang. But, you know, our defenders are having to overcompensate because there's nothing in midfield. Once the ball gets punched into midfield, that's where the attacking play stops. Defending, as you saw it, too many gaps. The defending from the front, from the centre mids and the strikers. It's a collective battle. But I can't lie. There was a moment in the tight corner where Martinelli ripped Jadon Sancho and Telles. It was lovely. Bro, you man used to chat. Do you know, sometimes it's been frustrating sitting here like, oh, wingers can't play on this side and that side. Bro, if you're a winger and you can only play on the left or right hand side, you're shit. I'm sorry, you're shit. You are shit. There's obviously a side you play better, but you are shit. You can't be good. I'm sorry, you can't be good. Then leave. The reason you lot are not being played is you're not hungry enough or performing consistently to be in the team. I don't know how he did. Callum Wilson would bang goals in this Arsenal side. I don't think so, because you have to create chances. Like, you have to create. When things aren't going well on the pitch, there's never a player on the pitch telling you lot what to do. Disagree. I think there's two players in particular. I don't feel people look at when Ben White does it. And you actually see Odegaard do it a lot. But again, it's not levels. You know, Ronaldo will tell him more beneficial than G-ing man up and getting man excited. Ronaldo will tell him, man, calm the fuck down, relax, calm down. And I think we needed that as much as we needed G-ing up. Crazy. Loved all the opinions coming, man. Deluded. What do you think of Partey's performance? Watching the game again, 5 out of 10. Better second half. I'm being a bit harsh saying woeful's first half, but yeah, man, like misplacing passes. When he's finding people, he's punching them into him. You know, as I always say, still at the WizKid concert, you know, it's concerning. I hear all this and I agree, he needs a better partner, but you need to pattern it up, Partey. And we'll get into Partey. He's been speaking about himself. Arteta's mad we pass back, but doesn't buy a progressive and efficient 8.5. And exactly, these players are not confident to play the ball forward consistently. Man said Arsenal parking the bus every game. Ha ha ha. Arsenal fans, top 4 was on. Not you deluded, them real deluded ones. Shout out you, Tarek. Listen, Xhaka would have been slated for it, but this is the thing. I don't want to do all of this. Like, I hate all of this. Let's get on to Partey and praise Xhaka. Let's get on to Xhaka and praise this guy. Brother, like, he's dead because people are going to be sucking off Partey, pardon my language, when he has that great performance, just like they are with El Nene, and then they're going to go revert back to what they're doing. The trenches thing only works for so long against certain opposition. It worked past year, but Mikel really did think it'd work again. Exactly, bro. Do you know what? It's not going to work. The trench thing goes out the window when we took the lead. Maybe on the Ollie, but United have Ronaldo and they're a bit more positive. 300 odd people here. Make sure you're hitting the like button. I don't think this team is in as bad of a place as we think. Auba is dead with. I don't think the team's in a bad place. Where did I say the team's in a bad place? I don't think it's ahead as where people make out. I don't think it's where I don't think it's as bad as people make out. I don't think we're as ahead as people make out. I think we're in an okay place where, you know, with Arteta and where we are 5th, but it's many aspects are not good enough. And when you don't progress, you stagnate. And when you stagnate, you regress. Arteta has been at Arsenal a number of years, a bit harsh, 2.5, and spent hundreds of millions. Bit harsh, not true. To say your manager or team are not good enough shows that shows that Ish has not gone to plan. That's true, but I think you exaggerating heavily there with hundreds of millions. You're damn right lying there. The defense has conceded 15 goals against City, Chelsea, Man United, Liverpool. The two fullbacks aren't good enough. Harsh, man. Do we keep buying young players? I'm always going to advocate for young players, but we need a bit more competent, consistent, and confident young players. I always talk to you lot about the free season. I think games like that showed it. You've got to be competent. There's no point being a defender who can't defend or a striker who can't score. Things that could be said at this Arsenal team currently. You've got to be consistent. There's no point doing it one week if you don't do it the next week. And you've got to be confident. It's easy to be confident when the sun is shining at the Emirates, when the team is just sitting back, when the fans are roaring it. Much difficult when United are getting a new manager, when there's Cristiano Ronaldo, where the fans have got an extra bit between their teeth because of the controversial circumstances with Smith Rowe, because it's a big pitch. It's more difficult to be that, you know. As much as I blast mistakes, I like reactions. If you make a mistake, try again. And I did feel there was aspects of that where we kept going. Like I said, there was times we had to go long. There was times we had to try play out. It weren't appalling. It's just fine margins. And fundamentally, I can't focus on all the negative. I can't focus on all the positive. It's a neutral ground. The good, bad, and the ugly. Fundamentally, football is a results business. You don't get 3 points in a game. It's not been a good performance. There's no ifs and buts. Leeds played well the other day against Spurs. You don't get points for playing well. They fucked it up. They conceded. Newcastle played well. They tried a thing against us. Arguably, they could have got something. They didn't. Watford in a relegation race. They did well against us. They don't got nothing from it. You don't get nothing for playing well. Might be a pat on the back, might be encouraging signs, but this is a results business. You know, this ain't just competing for the sake of it. I know in the new generation now you get awards for finishing 8th and that, but this is where we need to be a bit sensible. And I said it's my fault for not telling Arteta the second or third goals was coming. Another game where we pressed the self-destruct button. The game was crying for better game management. We could see it was headed where it was heading. That's true. But I'd also say the players have to manage themselves. And Ramsdale has spoken about in defense of Arteta. Sometimes he said it. They're taking the game plan too literally. These are young players that need to go through these things, but it's all about learning. You don't need to go through, as a young player who's just signed here, a season of seeing this and go through it next season to say you're still learning. These same things have been happening game to game. And for me, I'd more want you to learn it when we're winning, because these things have been there when we've actually been winning games. But you need to want to learn. You need to know how to learn. Big up Ali. I don't know about everyone, bro. But, bro, without discipline, you don't get results. 90 minutes full of hunger and discipline, we would have won the game. We scrapped how many 1-0s from discipline? Exactly, but it's difficult. They're on top of you. You got Cristiano Ronaldo. There's a couple good saves. You got to believe, though, man. What does Arteta and his team do with Partey? Partey be back. I stand with Partey. Hold your L. You're moving mad right now. I think fans are getting onto him for yesterday. I think he's played worse this season, but pattern up. I think the problem with Partey is he's an extremely limited player that fans gassed up. Obviously, you leave Atletico, you come here, everything else is going to be highlighted. He's an extremely limited player. Just take the man back to being a box-to-box man, and that's it. Most importantly, I probably wouldn't drop him for Everton, but I can't say El Nene and Lokonga shouldn't be that midfield pivot then. We need experienced players, but it's the right experience. Don't keep bringing in guys like Marie and Willian and Cedric. I'm just throwing him in there. You need the right experience. As you can see, there's experience 23-year-old, there's experience 18-year-old. It all depends on that. Would you find anyone after yesterday's game? Well, if this was Football Manager, everyone's getting fined, broski. How you mean? Aubameyang's holding a fine, Partey's holding a fine, Odegaard's holding a fine. I'd probably even fine myself. Yeah. And this is it. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Work on your skills and take chances. You get consistency is what separates good players from mediocre ones. And that's it. You don't know. You don't have to be. You just have to take your chances. There's been teams that have taken chances against United. I mean, the ref. Oh no, you can't find the ref, man. Before we go overboard with negativity, remember we took 4 points off United and still finished way behind them last season. That's true, but respectfully, gent, you always hear so big up yourself. I don't know how that helps us, bro. Like, it doesn't help anything, you know. Last season we beat Chelsea, we did a thing against United, but in the grand scheme of things, we did F4. You know, we knew last season was the problems, the smaller games. Ironically, this season we've been taking points in the smaller games. You know, we got over the line against Newcastle. That's what's helped us with that insurance. But we still need to try and put in a performance, man. Our best performances out of all these typical top 6 teams was against Spurs. Even if we beat United, people, the first thing would have been said is obviously they're in bad form, but you didn't. Now, I'm hella emotionally attached to the club, man. But I just think a lot of you obviously you can be frustrated, but I think a lot of you take it beyond frustrating and start moving mad because you're not, maybe because you don't want to, but you're not seeing Arsenal. And I'm not saying it to find an excuse, but you're not seeing Arsenal for what it is. You're not seeing this club for what it is. Because at the start of August, and I've said it now, we're still, the gloves have been off and we're still in the same position. We have not improved. And what I mean, but obviously there's been better defensive improvements, but we haven't improved to a grand scale. So why are we gassing it? Just wait and see. As I said, right now, reality is you still sit 5th. They've got an opportunity, but it's down to these boys what they want to do. You know, if you want to feel sorry for yourselves, feel sorry for yourselves. It's going to get longer. But you need to go to Everton. Everton are not going to give a shit that you lost to United. And oh, woe is me, Arsenal fans, we need a win. They're fighting for their lives. They're going to want to win. West Ham, they're going to want to win. You've got Southampton. I'm scared of Southampton home and away. I'll be real with you, lot. It's a bogey team. You know, we've got a lot of football to be played this month. You got to go to Carrow Road. Them and their new manager fighting relegation. And we got to do all of this in December. And do you know what the thanks we get? We play on January the 1st against Manchester City. And I'm hoping somehow the fixture list changes and that one there's moved away. In fact, who knows this, you know, if this game wasn't played on Thursday and it was played on a Sunday like it was originally to Man United Arsenal, who knows? We might have done something in the game. But yeah, man, we can't feel sorry for ourselves. Prior to the United game, there was, what, 21 or so points in December up for grabs, plus the Sunderland game. You are going to lose. We're going to lose again. We're going to drop points in similar circumstances again. But you can have a good season. It's up to these lot. You're in December. Get out of this December period, still kind of where you are in January. For January, focus until March. You might be able to say something. March until April. April till May. Don't let any of your hard work F up. You know, the good thing is everybody's dropping points. The bad thing is because everybody's dropping points, couple of wins or 4 points like United, the narrative changes. Spurs are creeping back up. You know, Arsenal, we were getting relegated. Now look, you know, big up my guy Carl. I ain't seen him since Villa have been frauding it, but he used to come here every week and say, I can't see Arsenal in the league until I accept cookies and stuff on my phone. Now look, it's going to change. There's not much in it, whether the top 3 are concerned, whoever's fighting for top 4, whoever's fighting out the league, there's not too much. But now we're getting to that period where people are going to start to break away. People are going to start to fall away. So the best thing you can do is just get back on it. Everybody wants 3 points. Make sure you're out there to do it. You lost against United. You know, you've got 2 loss. You know what? To be fair with you, when we talk about the United and Liverpool games, of course, we could say we could have done better and whatnot. But isolated, if you look at the run, lost to a team with Cristiano Ronaldo, lost to a team that's looking at it on a lazy one, but lost to Ronaldo, lost to a team that is evidently million years ahead of us in Liverpool across every aspect. The only way we're probably levels is YouTubers, because obviously I'm probably better than any Liverpool YouTuber there is, respectfully. But 2 losses sandwiched in between that, shaky wins, not convincing, but wins. So we're never going to be perfect. You've got a good platform. It could be a lot better, and I'm not saying that to find complacency, but it could be a lot worse. Like last season, you know, this time last season, what was going on? And I'm not saying that to find complacency. I'm just saying keep perspective and you can keep going. You know, end of the day, we're 5th. Regardless, fans would have taken this at the start of the year. In fact, off the back of last year, would have taken 5th in December. 5th in December don't mean nothing. You need to be 5th or beyond that, by God's grace, in May. Title challenge is taking a bit of a blow. Mathematically, it's still possible now. I'm playing people, but on a serious note, it's not levels, is it? It's just not levels. Keep your opinions coming, people. And for me, it's the goals as well. It's things that have led to the goals as well. 1 second, people. What's that? 54, 5. Sorry, folks. Let's just pattern this up. And as we've already discussed the basics, but yeah, man, obviously, when we look at the goals we've conceded, the first one is what jars me because of when we've conceded it and because we're not clearing our lines. Now, movement. Now, again, not to scale. Again, I can't do it properly. But if you lot remember, Ben White has dealt with the cross. He's cleared it. It's fallen to someone else, and it's eventually hit Sancho. Again, not to scale. Sancho's got it. He's delivered. Now, Fred is not being picked up. Again, you've got to find runners. Fred has made the run, and he squared it to Bruno. Bruno, who's, again, not to scale, also made a run. You can't afford to, you can't contain Man United's attackers. We weren't keeping a clean sheet. But what you can do is be switched on. And their game's based on movement. You can get near people. You can make sure you're following runners. We didn't. They scored, didn't it? It's as simple as that. They pull it in the back of the net. What one's this now? This is the second one we've conceded. Now, this was obviously disappointing for a variety of reasons, not to scale. But if you lot remember, between Smith Rowe and Tavares, they've made a meal of it. Remove Smith Rowe for a sec, exaggerate Tavares. He's out of position. Marcus Rashford is in acres of space again, not following runners. Rashford puts the ball into the box. But before that, Ronaldo. If you watch football and watch it again, it's a glamorous goal, but it's not going to be a glamorous Ronaldo goal. Movement, street smart individual. No one's picking him up. He's just simply made a run. He's just done what he needs to do. Ball's whistled across. Ronaldo eventually puts it in the back of the net. Midfield needed to pick up these runners where Fred's concerned, and obviously Cristiano Ronaldo. The defense can't do it themselves. They can't, stupid mistakes. You browse over here to highlight the penalty again. It's against the run of play. And I actually had screenshots from Amazon, but for some reason my laptop didn't. I don't know why. They just came out as blank. Or we could have done it that way. He's not looking over his shoulder where Fred is. When he looks, it's too late. As you lot see, he collapsed it. Fred's made the run, not to scale. Ball's come in. He's seen Fred too late. Why he's decided to slide there, I don't know. But he has done that, people, regardless. So it is what it is. I did like the goals we scored. I did see some good passing moves. Obviously, there was an incident. Obviously, it ended up with Martinelli over here. United didn't follow runners themselves. That's why Odegaard's obviously slapped it in for his goal, not to scale as well. In my regards. And obviously Smith Rowe's goal actually came because in the first half we was proactive, we was getting at them and stuff. We actually played a good move, again, not to scale, but we all from our defense, really, from Ramsdale, plus we got further forward and it resulted in a corner. Now obviously United failed to clear their lines. Their keeper died for a sec, respectfully, and then obviously Smith Rowe has scored from outside the area, Gerrard-esque, I've got to be shameless, and done his thing. We were pressing them at first half. Again, this is what made the difference for me. We believed in ourselves. We had United camped in their own half and again, first 13 minutes, because after 20, we was under the caution in our own half. But I think one thing that helped us against Man United is because they had no outball. De Gea is out there making enough saves. They can't get out. Aubameyang's actually pressing. Martinelli's working very hard out there, as we've discussed, people. He's actually pressing. I actually feel Odegaard is getting up there and supporting as well. We've got Tavares. We're cutting off the passing lanes. Fred and McTominay, they're not going to give you much. They're going long and we're dealing with it. They couldn't get out of their half. That didn't last, though, because it can't last for 90 minutes. That's the only thing of relevance. Yeah, Martinelli played well. Yeah, there's other things, but there's no other things I feel are of relevance to talk about from a tactical standpoint with you guys, people. Again, we're very disjointed. The 2 goals we conceded were as a result of being extremely disjointed as a team. It's about what you do off the ball. You have to be one of the best sides in this league, or aspire to be off the ball. I can definitely see who can waffle about City's quality on the ball for days. What makes it the difference defensively and offensively off the ball, whether they're making tactical fouls or whatever? Chelsea are the same. Liverpool off the ball, you don't want to listen. We paid for that. We've seen it. We even saw it against Everton. Seamus Coleman, no man's world against Salah. You don't learn these lessons, this is what happens. Positives, obviously, Martinelli worked quite hard. Smith Rowe scored. That's it. Senior players missing once again. That's it. We'll get into what Mikel Arteta said. I think PARTEY has spoken himself. We've been naive in every game we've played this season, even games we've won. We're gifting the opposition chances to get back in the game, and that's exactly what happened last night. Facts. We lost that game in midfield to a degree. The only good thing about Arteta is that he's in fact doing better than even he expected. Facts are we've been papering over teams' cracks. The recent fixtures and individual brilliance shown by the kids have senior players not stepping up. Fact. Tavares put a great cross into the box. Exactly. He could have. But the thing with me Saka should have scored. Aubameyang should have scored. We shouldn't. But it's for me, we're not creating enough. Like we're harping about 5 opportunities in a game. Really, that tells me it's not muscle memory. We should be creating similar opportunities 5 to 7 to 10 times a game. We need to start taking our chances. And obviously, Saka and Martinelli, they were standing in solidarity with their captain Aubameyang in terms of not taking chances. DG, we need a DM. We don't have a real DM. I think if our team defended a bit better, we would. We need. I think unpopular. We need an 8 more than we need a defensive mid. Maddison was not worth it. I haven't said anything about Maddison. I'm gutted, man. Didn't even sleep properly last night. Big up you from Trinidad, but sleep, bro. It's not the worst defeat in the world. We can't skip the midfield. All this other talk is irrelevant, trust. The amount of creativity in Bruno is crazy. I don't think Partey is fully fit. And I think fans are getting onto him, but still, it's not levels, man. Arteta is looking for another 150 million to do a second rebuild. To be fair to you, I don't agree with a lot of what Arteta is doing, but can we say we don't need to spend money? Now, whether Arteta is going to get the best out of the tools he's provided, what can you say? Well, the striker's not coming cheap. Unless you've done proper scouting thing, it's not coming cheap. Deluded. If we don't win against Everton, I'm not taking the joys on Finn. He has to beat Everton. You can't draw against them if you want to do this thing, man. To be fair to you, Ainsley was the best against whatever team and then got dropped. We've seen that. I didn't understand Lokonga being dropped, but El Nene and Partey, I could understand it. It's just highlighted because Partey was poor. I don't think anyone would have went with Lokonga and El Nene together. Most of this is because of some Arsenal fans. A couple wins and we are the best in the world. We haven't played one good game in the league this season. Tell me which game we won comfortably. I don't think we've won a game comfortably, but I would say the Spurs game for me was as perfect as we can get. But even that, we're 3-0 up and it looks a bit shaky. Need strong characters. Professional footballers get paid to kick a ball as a job. That is literally all they have to do. As far as I'm concerned, no player should have a weak foot. They have enough time to train it. I mean, that's quite silly, but I hear you. They do have enough time. They're always going to have a weak foot, you know. People could find them exact parallels with you in your job and say you should have no weaknesses. Like, I get that we're angry, but let's be sensible, man. 100 million on defense, and I can still see us conceding 2 goals per game. That Ramsdale man of the match thing isn't sustainable. How do we give Partey a pass on playing out of position? Who's giving him a pass? He's a midfielder. He wasn't playing on the flanks. Why did Arteta take off Smith Rowe and then bring on Saka? Can't say I have a problem with that. Strange question, but could some of the on-field leadership issues be credited to the fact that we have serious amounts of introverts? You could, but anyone who's played ball, there's captains who are going to shout, and probably the one we want to see, they're shouting on the pitch, but there's certain people that would just say 1 or 2 words in the dressing room. There's certain people that will never speak and whatever. It could be that. It probably is that. Aubameyang should have finished that run from Martinelli. There was half chances, man. Love for the super chat. Deluded, if we don't win against Everton, he's on thin ice. Big up you, man. Love for the super chat, and I can't disagree. From what you've seen so far this season, how do you see December playing out for us? Everton, Southampton, West Ham, Sunderland, Leeds, Norwich, Wolves. Psh. How long's a piece of string, man? Like Arsenal could go on a losing run, they could go on a winning run. If I had to like think about it, I'm not confident for Everton away, but I think we could beat Everton away. I think we drop points against West Ham, Southampton. I think we get over the line against Leeds. I actually feel we could drop points against Wolves in Norwich. It's a bit of a mixed bag. We don't have a plan B. Do we have a plan A? A man said, I can't lie. If this was all FM, I'd say it was all DG's fault, not the players. Look at this guy, man. I'll take the rough with the smooth, man. I'm an elite gaffer still. El Nene is so frustrating when he doesn't make a simple pass forward. He is, but I can't get onto him yesterday because within El Nene's limitations, he did his thing. So do we praise Arteta for allowing the players to learn these lessons? What lessons? What we have is a crisis in leadership. We need someone on the pitch to rally the troops when things get sticky. But I think players need to be able to gas themselves, man, because I can't lie. I agree with you, and you're right. But there's too many times it looks like at Arsenal, people are looking at other individuals to make the difference or give them the one little bit of inspiration. How would you set up against Everton? I mean, we'll preview the game, but right now, if I had to pick the team, I would say the defense picks itself, innit? You know, I don't think Tavares deserves to be dropped, but I'm bringing Tierney back in. I'll bring Tierney back in. Tomiyasu, Ramsdale, Ben White, Gabriel pick themselves within midfield. El Nene probably deserves to start. I see him going with El Nene and Partey. Again, to be fair with you, I would probably go El Nene. I would probably go Partey, Lokonga, Smith Rowe in the 10. Saka on the right, Martinelli on the left, Lacazette through the middle. That would be me. Odegaard, Aubameyang, bench settings. You have done very well in terms of points. There's a mixed bag. This is why I keep saying the good, bad, and the ugly. This is what Arsenal season has been. This is Arsenal. This is the good, the bad, and the ugly. And this is what's going to keep repeating itself. It's not convincing at all. The second goal was brazy. Are you gang affiliated? Do you like UK drill? Yo, my driller, that's what you're sounding like. But what are you going to ask me? Do you know anyone that's got a big bit? What kind of funky business you ask, man? I don't know nothing, man. Are you is your mum gang affiliated, bro? Fuck, you see the IC3 talking to be a gang bullshit, man. Get the fuck out of here, you Raleigh, man. Yeah, I big up yourself. But we don't follow midfield runners. And again, these are things we can look at. Man are not looking over their shoulder. Or in Odegaard's case, you're looking over your shoulder when it's too late. There were a few moments earlier, just before the second, where Tavares left Gabriel isolated, warning signs. Exactly. And them warning signs were there against Newcastle. To be fair, that's Tavares. You got to live by the sword, die by the sword. If you want a man to get forward, we have to know this young man's going to get caught out of position. And there's going to be incidences. United only need a chance. Brother, how many times this guy's going to ask me, am I gang affiliated, bro? Allow it, man. Allow it, man. Bro, are you a Fed blood? DJ, it's a shame Guendouzi didn't make out. He would be a great midfield option in our current state, probably, but the bar's on the floor, fam. Oh, man, was really trying to get me to answer that question. Big up, Deluded, great insight as usual. Zidane once said, own the midfield, own the game, a department we're lacking in at the moment. Can't disagree with what the big man Zidane said. Bro, what go for my man? I don't know what that is, bro. Personalities win you big games, even when they don't play particularly well. That was the difference between a timid Arsenal and a very bang average United. Really gutted to have gone to watch that live. Apologies that you had to witness that, Banky, man. People not taking into consideration, we've been overachieving this season. Defeats like this, we're going to come for this young team. And AUBA and Xhaka replacement are needed this summer. Spaceman, Trooper, can't disagree, bro. If Partey is unfit, which I agree with, what's Arteta's rationale in playing an unfit Partey? He's got no other choice, no other opportunity, blood. Mad bro. I just do football streams, bro. I might watch it. I might watch football illegally on streams, but I don't know why they're watching me. I ain't done nothing. Mr. Officer, allow me, man. You can't try to send me to the HMP over a 3-5 or a little off. Allow me, man. There's real criminals out there. But anyways, moving on. Arsenal fans always throw tantrums after because they lack balance. They lack balance. And obviously, when Arsenal have gone on a run where, again, people are not looking at it on an objective thing and saying, oh, we won, but this happened. It could have went there. Everyone just wants to shut up. Hey, we're winning. We're this and that. That's why, you know, when we lose like United, where, again, it's a game where it's disappointing. There's things we could have done better. People lose their shits. Arsenal fans lack a lot of balance. And when I say Arsenal fan, I'm talking about the vast majority. That's where you see that. These guys are the best guys in the world one week, and then they're this, that, and the other the next week. Bring back Pepe. Why not, man? I think it could have been a good game for Pepe on the bench, off the bench, just because laterally, if you're a fullback, the last thing you want to do is defend against fresh legs. Now, Pepe probably would have ran into blind alleys and done what he normally does, but it was something. I actually feel we can get 18 out of 18 points. I hope you're right, man. I hope so. I want us to. Tavares has been the weak link in the last 3 games. I suggest he must be dropped in the next game. Harsh to say he's been the weak link in the 3 games. And as poor as people might say he could have been yesterday, he was not the poorest player on the pitch. He's always passing the ball backwards, destroying the build-ups. I think that's harsh. I think the only thing you could give him is what you said there. He does sometimes give it away. He tries a mad shot. I think that's harsh. Against the faves for top 4, we have conceded 12, 14 if you count Brentford, and scored 2. Our position in the league is blinding fans. Same. And again, when you don't lack balance, you're going to be on a mazza. People are quick to say Arteta is clueless when we lose and the players were excellent when we win. I agree with that, but I also disagree. I think people are quick to slate the players when we lose and nothing is said about Arteta and vice versa. Again, lacking balance. Bro, I don't know what that... At least that Don brought some humor to this thing, bro. At least he brought some humor to this thing. Yeah, Xhaka would. That's what Xhaka becomes, man. Mr. Officer was moving brazy still, man. Get you out of it. Do you like the formation you're currently using, or would you like... I mean, I'm a 4-3-3, man. If Arsenal was in my aspect, I would love a 4-3-3. We're dominating possession. We're scoring goals in it. So it's not what I want to see, really. But it is what it is. Do we have the personnel? That's why I'm not angry at times, because I just think I can't see progressive passing. We can definitely do it a bit better, but I'm never going to see progressive passing to the level I need to with these current midfield options. And that's where I'm a bit annoyed with Arteta and Edu. And why my expectations of the season on the floor, because we needed to do this when we brought in PARTEY. You know, I thought, yes, last season was a chance to revamp it. And for a while, it did look like that, you know, with Xhaka leaving and Locatelli Xhaka leaving, going out the door, and Locatelli not being brought in. I don't know what's going on, but it did look like we was going to revamp the midfield. I've always said it. I said, we're going to live or die by our midfield. Until this midfield's addressed, it's terrible. And this whole 2-6 business, 2 6s, it's not going to bang. It's not going to bang when you're not a good defensive side. You've been saying all season that there are warning signs even in victories, but then they look at me like I'm the mad cat lady, like I'm preaching, like Jesus is, like I'm outside the train station. Jesus is coming. Repent for your sins now, or you're gonna burn in eternal hellfire. You know, they call you a madman, and it's nothing to do with me being right and people being wrong. No one's right or wrong. It's just I genuinely feel you would kind of agree or come see where I'm coming from if you're watching Arsenal with your eyes. DG, we saw your Arsenal on FM and it wasn't good. Hey, the league this season, though. Don't watch that. I feel like Arteta can't do more than what he's doing with the quality of players he has. Disagree, because can you look at that team and say, okay, cool. Once a better creative number 8 comes in, once a striker comes in, you can see where goals are scored. Or are we going to get these lot and still struggle? I disagree. I do think he's getting a tune out of them and we're getting to that point, but disagree. I do think, not to say to sack him or anything, but a more competent or more experienced manager probably gets these guys scoring, probably sees less of the things we're crying about. You know, Varane, Cavani, Shaw were all injured, exactly. And I would say it's the mentality. Arteta can't arrest the mentality. I think he's done all he can to try and arrest mentality. I think the only difference he can make is changing the players now, because I think he's tried to make them feel confident. He's tried to make these guys accept, like, when you've made a mistake, forgive yourself and respond. And I think when you've got people like Tavares, credit where due, he can do it. But a lot of it now, as much as there's things Arteta needs to do, it's a thing for me where you can take someone to the water, but they're gonna have to want to drink it, and they're gonna have to. Like, I mean, I said it in my preview. Can we honestly think we're not gonna concede to Man United? So for me, why are heads dropping? Just like against Liverpool, why are heads dropping? You know, I say it all the week on Sunday League. You ask my guys. I'm one of them guys. I'm only good for the 0-0 stuff. I say, have you never been a goal down before? Why is it? I hate that. When a goal's been conceded, obviously, if you've shipped 5, I understand it. But you've conceded 1 goal and a couple men are like, I've never understood that. And I think these are things that the players have to arrest. When you concede a goal, respond to the setback. Yeah, there's been occasion we've done that and whatnot, but there's so many things I don't think Arteta can help them with. And there's so many things I feel Arteta can do better. But I do think he's taken a couple man far enough. And that's as far as it goes for a couple man. I don't see enough players dying to win. I'm not going to say it doesn't mean anything because it does, but I don't, you don't put your bodies on the line. What could anyone say if Cristiano Ronaldo does Cristiano Ronaldo things, which he did yesterday? But same with Liverpool, which they did, but you've handed it to them. It's crazy, man. Trying his best, but sometimes in life your best ain't good enough, Reed, but the ones there. Like, what do you think he could do better? You could have signed a number 8. I think you could promote your players. The build-up play is quite predictable. It's very predictable. Yeah, Martinelli gave us a bit more, but it's still very left-hand centric. Again, work something, because we've seen managers do it. We're not good enough in the final third. We're not creating nothing. Unless when the random bits where Saka, Smith Rowe, these man in the game are on it, it's not really happening. Aubameyang is completely washed, but the bigger problem is PARTEY guys awful. Disagree, but boy, I can't. Is what it is. I mean, we're talking about we're lacking a ball winning midfielder. We've got Lokonga and PARTEY. We're lacking a guy that can just hold on to the ball, in my opinion. I'll be open to another defensive sort of player, but I mean, we're not going to get anywhere with that. Like, we're not going to get anywhere. Like, as much as it's about defending, attack is a form of defense, and we haven't seemed to quite grasp that. Oh, the beat. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Really, really brazy, folks. Really brazy. We've been linked with Dominic Calvert-Lewin, people. So let's get into some of this transfer business as well, people, just before we get into what Mikel Arteta has had to say. Don't forget, 2 p.m. Make sure you set your reminders. I'm going to be on Twitch. Let's get into all of this, all these paper talks, people. Let's get into all of this. Well, sorry, people. Arsenal are plotting this, and to be honest with you, I don't know what to believe, because we're always linked with Dominic Calvert-Lewin. We know we need a striker, but this came almost like clockwork off the back of Aubameyang just playing poorly, if that makes sense. Big up to Ronaldo for his 800th and 801st goals. That's a fantastic achievement. But Arsenal are plotting a move for Everton forward Dominic Calvert-Lewin, with Mikel Arteta planning for life without Alexandre Lacazette. I would love it, but make sure you're going to actually cross the ball. It wouldn't surprise me. You see how we was going long against Man United, we wouldn't do that when Lowen's there, We'll wait till someone's about 5'6" to start doing that. But make sure, I would take Dominic Calvert-Lewin. 60 million's a bit mad. And I just think, regardless, you're going to need 2 strikers. You bring in your Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but you need to get like an Ivan Toney or someone that could score goals, which Toney can, but they have other strengths. It's not a one squad man. I hope Balogun and these guys could step up, but a part of me feels, if you could, you spend money on a marquee striker, which I don't think is going to happen, and you get someone that's kind of mid-range. We found Adebayo from Monaco. Just do a scouting thing, really and truly. But for what it's worth, Arsenal have targeted Dominic Calvert-Lewin and would like the Everton star to spearhead the next phase of their development under Mikel Arteta. He's been on our radar since the summer, but there was never any possibility of being able to do a deal in August. He's admired that greatly at the Emirates. Apparently, he was an Arsenal fan. Arteta is formulating plans for life without Alexandre Lacazette, whose contract expires. Though the Arsenal head coach has indicated the Frenchman could be given a new deal, the likelihood is that he will leave in June. Arsenal would have then a considerable hole in their wage structure to fill, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin is regarded as the ideal candidate to come in and take over. Bring me Madison as well. Let's do Project English. The question would be whether they would meet the inevitable huge transfer fee beyond 60 million that Everton would demand. Boy, I don't know if that's the case. Benitez apparently said some clubs have sold players at the right time, and with the money they receive, they've improved the team. That is something we have to learn. The owner is ready to spend, but we can't spend all the time without bringing money back in. So I think we have to be clever in the future. That might be someone that you put money on the table, it could be gone. I wouldn't say he's my first choice target, but it is what it is. Apparently, he's going to miss another 3 weeks, people. So, fortunately for us, he's not going to be there for the Arsenal game. So, that's that with Dominic Calvert-Lewin, folks. What else is there? You know, yesterday we was linked with Gabriel Barbosa, people. As you lot can see here, his agent has responded to Premier League links and he's really shut down the moves, people. There was talk of joining a team for 30 million euros slash 25 million quid, people. And as we know, he joined Inter back in 2016. There's been reports claiming that he's got interest from Spanish sides as well as West Ham, Aston Villa, Newcastle, and us. A member of his management team has poured cold water. He said, only from us, for Comem, who's the company, and Gabriel's father can speak on behalf of the athlete. There's absolutely nothing with the Premier League or any other league at the moment. He is solely focused on playing for Flamengo because he is very happy at the club. So that one there is a myth. What do you lot make of Dominic Calvert-Lewin as well? Isco rumours, Arsenal transfer target, Isco refusing to leave bench to warm up as he heads towards Real Madrid exit, people. He's been left on the bench for the last 3 fixtures, 29-year-old. I think we should stay clear from that. When did this article get released? 2nd of December, so 2 days ago. So we were linked with Isco, which is a myth. Do you lot want to see some of the statistics for Arsenal yesterday? Shout out the Twitter account of Bino. Aubameyang has scored 4 in his last 5 appearances scored 4 goals in 5 Premier League appearances against Everton. So maybe there's something there. We know we've scored a lot from corners, people. We only scored 3 last season. We've got 5 this year. At least there's been some improvement. Martinelli has the same amount of goal involvements this season as Buendia, Kevin De Bruyne, and Harry Kane. Worst defenses in terms of expected goals against, I believe. So there you have it, people. And obviously, we played the big games at the start. In 19 games against teams called United, well, yeah, he's lost 1 in 15. Boy, you know, clubs in terrible form do start playing well against us. United only had 14 shots. 10 of those were on target. I think we had a better second half possession. When we have possession, we don't create chances. When we don't have possession and we score, we don't see out games, people. The top 4 are the only teams with a positive goal difference currently, and we spoke about that, you know. And you look at our record under Mikel Arteta against the big 6, it's appalling, man, you know. 1-2, drawn 1, lost 8, scored 8, conceded 25. So what does that tell you? Of course, you know, when you play Man City, Liverpool, you're going to get your ass handed to you. But meaty. Arsenal have scored 11 goals in their last 8 visits to Old Trafford, which was, again, tired. And they're still tired, people. So it tells you everything. Ronaldo scores against Arsenal. He loves it, people. Like, it's mad, man. United ain't scored from a set piece. Arsenal fired 33 shots from outside the area, which have missed the target. So again, whether it's creating, scoring, or shots on target, we're not productive in front of goal, and we don't create. We're down in terms of many creative aspects. So we're not serious, man. It's peak, like it's absolutely peak. These were issues that we knew plagued us last season. Yet we didn't want to do anything about it. So can't really be surprised about none of that. Calvert-Lewin rumors, transfer news. Sorry, folks. Just making sure the timestamps are making 100% sense. So yeah, man, them stats look meaty. Should we see what the gaffer has had to say about us and whatnot? Make sure you're smashing the likes, people. 100%. I don't think we need Isco as well. 29 is a bit of a myth. You lot are a bit hard, you know. Isco on the free makes sense. The wages, the injury record is a myth. I like Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I looked at his goal record. His injury record. It's not that bad. It's been blown out of proportion. 100. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is too injury prone for 60 million. He's meh. I don't want Dominic Calvert-Lewin at all. He stinks up the place. Bro, Arteta might as well put on his boots, bro, and play. DG, who are the top 3 underachievers at the moment? In the Arsenal team, let me know, Jason, so I could try and answer that for you. You know, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not really pissed off about Aubameyang liking that thing on Instagram beyond the obvious. I am kind of pissed off where I'm not one of these guys, but... And I know Aubameyang did speak to the media. Where is it? I know Aubameyang did speak, but I can't see it on the Arsenal.com. He said, we are a bit disappointed tonight because the team played very well. In this type of game, you need to be clinical defensively and offensively, and you have to do the perfect game because of the quality of United, which we didn't. And he said, in the second half, we had the character to come back, but in this type of game, I have to stand up and score that opportunity and maybe get a point for us. I should definitely score that type of goal, but I'll not give up. I'll keep trying to score goals. Aubameyang, man. You make me feel bad, man. You make me feel bad. You make me feel bad. You make me want to start this all again, man. You make me feel bad, man, because you need to be dropped. You're not levels, but Man are human, innit? Man make mistakes. And when I hear all of that, it upsets me, man. It's like, all right, cool, Cappy, let's go again, man. But you need to hold the bench against Everton. We ain't got time for feelings, innit? Another one that's breaking my heart. I have to get back to my best. Don't watch that Big Thomas Partey, man. You weren't as bad as people making out, but you need to pattern. He has said he's pledged to fight hard to get back to his very best form. I think the team came out to win. We did everything we could. We played well. We created a lot of chances, and I think that we were unlucky. You make your own luck, and I don't think we was unlucky. You know, we played with fire. We got burnt. They scored 2 goals and then a penalty. The team tried to improve and go forward and look for a goal for the equalizer. But in the end, it's football. We have to forget about this game. We have to think about our next game. We have to do better and also to win. The team is improving each and everyone is doing our best. For me, I have to keep on doing my best. Keep improving, try to come back to my best because the team needs me, the team needs us. I think we're improving each day and it's going to be good. If we want to be at the top, it's normal that we have to fight. We have to be under control and try to win the games. Fair enough, my guy, Partey. I'm standing by it. You man can still go AFCON early if you want, if you carry on like this though. Let's see what was happened as well. Is this the full press conference by Mikel Arteta? I don't know. Mikel Arteta on the defeat, Martinelli, El Nene, and more. Shout out, you know what? You've got to give credit to Martinelli and El Nene. Barely been playing, stepped up, 2 of the best players on the field. And they, more so Martinelli, they should get opportunities against Everton if we're keeping it fair. Anyways, people, and whether he's disappointed we didn't win after drawing level, of course we should. We took the lead in any Premier League game. If you have a hand on 3 points at any point and you don't walk away with none, that's a L. He said, well, we scored the first one, and after that, we had total control of the game up until about 25 minutes. I feel the last 20 minutes, 25 minutes, it was peak for us against United in the first half. We started to give some very simple balls away, which, again, it comes down to standards. Arteta can be blamed for things. You can't be blamed for that. Footballers need to, guys have played for Atletico and Real Madrid respectively, giving the ball away cheaply in very dangerous areas that opened some spaces for them and gave them some momentum. We had some difficulties there and we conceded the goal. The second half, I think we started really well again, which we did, but we conceded, 7-8 minutes into the second half. So game management, we had total control. We conceded the goal and we reacted really well. We kept true, pardon me. We tried and we were dominant in the game. We scored the second one, which means you should have walked away with a point. And then after that, we have to go and show them. And there was a period when we scored that I thought we could get another one. But he said we have to go and show the maturity to go and score the third one. In that moment, we did not manage well enough that situation and we conceded the goal. So I'm pleased with a lot of things that I saw. But being realistic, after conceding 3 goals at Old Trafford is very tricky to get something out of the game. On whether he saw the keeper was down for the opening goal, no, it was a very quick action, and afterwards we didn't know what to expect. I was talking to the 4th official and they allowed the goal, but I've seen it since. On Martinelli, he said yes, he looked a threat. He had a big chance in the first half and he probably should have played on. He created assists, he worked extremely hard and he had some really good moments. He looked a threat. On if he felt the team were too comfortable after the first goal, well, yeah, we just sat back and like against Liverpool when we was 0-0 for last year. It was like, yeah, we can get something from this. No, I think we were sloppy in possession. We gave the ball away to the opponent and we had no pressure there. That created strong momentum that allowed them to run. And we couldn't get out of our own half because we kept going long and they had the structure to play. And suddenly we started to give the ball away. So many unforced errors that led to them having belief that they could get something out of the game. Facts. And you can't do that. You have to kill encouragement. I didn't see a team with the handbrake. I saw a team that wanted to impose themselves here in stages. They were dominant. We played with the right structure and the right freedom at the same time. Disagree slightly, but agree 50% there. But we didn't defend our box well enough, too deep, and we didn't clear our lines. That's true. And manage some situations well enough to concede the way we did. On whether he felt some senior players performed well enough today, certainly it's the balance we need, and that balance is right. The senior players have to lead and the young players have to follow. The young players are leading, the senior players are not even following properly right now, Arteta. So there's a problem there. On how he plays to stop players from dropping off after they score. I think they mean plan here. Well, I don't know. It's a mentality thing. It's very difficult because when you're in possession of the ball, you have to make decisions. I want to encourage them to do what they feel. But against those teams, you get punished immediately with the quality and amount of players they can play against you straight away. I mean, Sambi can feel himself hard done by, but El Nene didn't harm himself starting. He said to be able to play a player like him with that experience that he was playing in this area, he was incredibly good last year when he played here as well. They need to proofread this. He has been training You see, the way he has been training, I think that's meant to say, and the way he behaves. And because I believe that sometimes we have to rotate things for the game. And that's true. You need to change things up. There was some couple of others. What else is there? We didn't manage to see. I mean, I think we missed a bit. We missed a bit out, people. Here, he said, but the reality is conceding 3 goals at Old Trafford is very difficult to get any result when the game was there with 2-2 and when we were in our best moment and had total control and dominance of the game. I do think at 2-2 we could have got third. And that's when you have to give the next step and go and win the match. And then we didn't manage one situation. We opened up and we conceded the goal and we threw the game away. We are here to win football matches and I'm disappointed because I have the feeling that we deserved more. But then again, we have to be realistic that if we do what we did in certain moments, defending our box against probably one of the best squads in the world, they're going to punish you because they have so many goals and quality to find those moments. That's the curve and hopefully the lesson we have. And we've got to learn. We've given too many opportunities against Newcastle, Watford, Norwich, Leicester. We give opportunities to teams. Hopefully we learn from that part. Boy, you know, that's what Aubameyang, our captain, PARTEY, and Mikel Arteta had to say. Mikel, wait, so what was that now? 1:30. Arteta press conference. Aubameyang and PARTEY speak on Man United defeat. That's that for the timestamps, people. No other YouTuber cares about you lot like me, man. Was Odegaard not signed to play the actual 8 role and then Smith Rowe at 10? I mean, it's surely an option. Sometimes you're going to play an 8 or a 10 or both of them further forward. And right now, Odegaard don't really look like he knows what's going on, really. Look, see, look, saying. Smash them likes. Big up yourself, real gooner. Margagard, Odegaard, you lot are doing him dirty. I'm going to back Odegaard, innit? But I can't lie, that's a good one. Odegaard and Margagard. I mean, you lot are doing my guy dirty. I like Odegaard, man. Opportunity missed. But even if we won, I wouldn't want us to get gassed. Dominic Calvert-Lewin don't score enough goals to be playing for a top 6 side. Apart from being a physical presence, he's meaty. Harsh. AUBA needs to be dropped is a very big call, DG. Very big. Is it? Because look what's going on, you know. He got dropped for United. He got dropped not for United, for Spurs last year, and we won, you know. Yes, Aubameyang, he's our captain, he's the talisman, but is it? It's a results business. As Arteta said, we're here to win football matches. The way Aubameyang's playing, he can't help us win football matches, you know. He could make himself a hero against Everton like I was hoping for him today, but it's not a big call. It's not that big. He's our captain, he's a talisman, it's Aubameyang, but it's not that big. You're not playing well. A bigger call, arguably, right now is dropping Lokonga, you know, was dropping Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Is dropping Tavares and bringing Tierney back in. If Arteta wanted to displace Gabriel and Ben White and present an option, if he felt Leno was training well and he wanted to bring in Ramsdale, you know, it's a bigger decision to not play Lacazette at this moment in time, to not play Smith Rowe, to play Odegaard and at the expense of moving Smith Rowe. If you bring in Pepe and move Saka away from the right wing, these are bigger decisions than Aubameyang. It's not a big call. Not a big call at all. Aubameyang lost me in that Man United game in the sense of I'll always support him, but you're not supporting yourself, so the gloves are off for you now. DG, I hope you're good. I just wanted to let the chat know Aubameyang is actually finished. Finito, big up yourself again. Appreciate that. By God's grace, he's back though, man. Car, I love Aubameyang, but percentages of goals in set pieces is high for Arsenal. Gabriel in Leicester, Odegaard free kick versus Burnley, Smith Rowe via a corner. Open goals are less. Exactly, it's not sustainable. Eldegaard, fucking hell. They're saying Partey did all 3 nights at Whiskey. No, I can't disagree with that. Must have, innit? Partey, pattern up, man. They're doing you dirty, my guy. They're doing you dirty, man. Shit. I mean, there is a couple of other things, people. You know, Thierry Henry was quite critical of Arsenal. I mean, he's, you know, as much as I'm saying I disagree with taking off, I agree with taking off Aubameyang. Something is not right. Thierry Henry baffled by Mikel Arteta's decision in Arsenal's defeat to Man United. I mean, Aubameyang was playing shit. He needed to come off. It's a myth. What does he want? I know when you're chasing the game, keeping your striker on, but I mean, the way he's playing, you might as well give Eddie a chance. I would have probably drawn for Pepe and got more directness, but Is what it is. Henry admits he could not understand why Mikel Arteta took off Aubameyang, and stuff like this makes me feel Thierry has an agenda at times. But I'll be honest, because he wasn't good enough. One thing I couldn't understand is Aubameyang is your captain, he's your goal scorer. You put him in as the captain. I mean, technically, well, no, Smith Rowe. I'm sure Aubameyang and Smith Rowe were drawn for goals. He's our second top goal scorer. Smith Rowe has 5, so in the league. So on one hand, you're right, but on the other hand, he is our captain. He's not looking like a captain yesterday, respectfully. He's not scoring goals. So, if Ronaldo's not doing the business for United, he has to come off. So who is Aubameyang for Arsenal, bro? Like 20 minutes to go, you're 3-2 down and you take him off. I hear it, but in reality, it looked like it weren't happening for Aubameyang. I never came across this situation where you're 3-2 away from home, you need a goal, and you take your captain off, and he can score your goals. Well, we don't know that at this moment. So something is not right. Yes, Henry, he's not scoring goals. I don't mind if you take him off if you know what the situation was kind of different, but that's your go-to player, your talisman, stuff he's not doing. You made him your captain. Did he technically? I don't think Arteta technically did. I could be wrong. He's your goal scorer, 3-2. You have to score a goal and you take him off. I mean, he brought on another striker and Aubameyang was playing tired. Arteta has all the right in the world to take him off. But what I'm trying to say is if I'm not the striker, the captain, and the guy that's supposed to score goals, you're losing away from home. I'll be going on the bench. Okay, hang on a minute. I'm not playing well, but that shows also, do they still trust me? I mean, let's be real. But he should not have started this game. He's been woeful. He's been, he was poor against Watford. He was shambolic against Newcastle with the miss. He's taking goals off people. The manager started you. There's every reason not to start you. The manager gave faith. You shouldn't have started. Arguably, El Nene shouldn't have started ahead of Lokonga, some might say. Martinelli got a look in. 2 of the 3 names took their opportunities. Tavares, he kept faith in him. And Aubameyang was given that luxury. You ain't done the business. He's backed him. Henry has to keep it true here because pre-game you saw the comments come out. I don't think Aubameyang's lost his goal scoring touch. I actually feel he's been backing Aubameyang publicly a lot this season. So I don't think that's fair. And again, you can't trust you. Trust comes from playing good. Saka and Smith Rowe, there's an element of trust because they play well. Ben White, Gabriel, Ramsdale. If you're not doing the business, you can't trust you right now. We need to remove our feelings and remember the collective. The collective is suffering. It's not an age thing with him because when you look at half the old man, Suarez, Jamie Vardy, they're all going strong still. So it's not an age thing. It's not even a losing pace thing. Losing pace, you don't lose the ability to get into the box and score goals. You're just not doing the business, and it kills me to see man saying you're finished, but I can't back you because you're not backing yourself, Aubameyang. You're not. So if man are saying, sorry for kicking up the thing there, people. If man are saying you're finished, you're finished. I hope you're not. It's Aubameyang FC. You're still my captain. I'm still going to use you this season, but I care more about Arsenal Football Club. You need to come out the team. It's as simple as that. There's no other way of shaping it, people. No other way of shaping it. Aubameyang should have been sent off. And like I said, for me, if Aubameyang's not scoring, he's not giving you nothing. If he scores, you're prepared to say he's not the best in terms of general play. If he scores, if he's scoring goals, he's a better striker than Lacazette. If he's not scoring, Lacazette's better than him. Henry just doesn't want the person who took 14 to be slandered. Yeah, it's an IC3 thing. I respect it, man. Nketiah sub over Pepe is why Arteta is out of his depth. Nketiah literally said no to a contract 2 days ago, and he plays over Pepe. I hear it. I don't disagree, but I think it's harsh because if Eddie scores, it's a masterclass. He didn't, but yeah, and he brought on a striker. I would have brought on Pepe as well. I mean, he can say he's a cool captain, but you can be cool, you can be not cool. Just be a captain when you need to be there, blood. Henry would put them goals away too. Bro, to be fair, Henry, what are you doing on Amazon Prime? Get the chimpanzees. Play a game for us. Arteta, you might as well jump in midfield. I'm shocked he didn't want him to come off. Bro, do you think Calvert-Lewin is a good striker? Yeah, I do think he's a good striker. I said that. I think he's a good striker. I think, I'm not sure if he's the one for Arsenal because the way he, the surplus of goals he scores, I don't know if he's going to get that. Or we're going to provide service. And that goes for any striker we play. We're going to find a techie baller who his game's built on pace and we're not going to give him balls in behind. We'll have a target man and we're expecting him to do the little intricacies. We don't play to anybody's strengths, man. I disagree. I think I think he could still score goals, but when you're missing like that, then once the pace goes, it's kalas for you, man. Pepe in his last game against Leeds lost the ball 22 times and fell over. Harsh. Ollie Watkins, I mean, he's an Arsenal fan, innit? So try it, innit? At this stage, I don't know, bro. Cause I don't know. Just something's got to be better than what we're doing, innit? Either make these guys find form or try a different thing. Something's not working, man. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is injured, parodic. I mean, he's had some injuries. I'd have to review his stuff. But I don't know. And doing more off-field ads. I mean, come on now. Saka's got New Balance and that. Just the other day, Ben White's got a new sponsorship with Adidas. I mean, come on now, man. That's a bit silly. But you're a footballer. As long as you train well and play well, you can go and get your money, do your ads, wear your tight clothes, do what you want to do. That's a bit silly. But can't say you don't want Dominic Calvert-Lewin because he's doing adverts. What's all that? What's all that about, fella? I don't sense that. Or what? And we've been linked with Darwin Nunez. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. Can we get? I mean, he badded us. Well, he didn't bad us up. I'm lying, but he played well against us. He could be a cheaper alternative. Then I think we've been linked with him again. Obviously, I'm very wary of the strikers we're being linked with today. Off the bat of obviously, Aubameyang's just been woeful and whatnot. So it is what it is. Hey, Marius, fuck off, man. Okay, all you armchair United fans, man. I have to, man. I'm sour. Like, that's the only one I got. It's the only one we got right now, man. But yeah, on a serious note, we've been linked with Darwin Nunez. I'm on that. I think, he's got that South American aggression. For a big man, his link-up plays good. He can score goals. Still an element of development to go up. But I'm on it. But is there legitimate links to him? Darwin Nunez, Arsenal target Darwin Nunez as Dusan Vlahovic's alternative with his reps not picking up the phone. We went over that. We know Lacazette and Nketiah, maybe even Aubameyang on current form, should all be out the door between now and next summer, people. Arsenal have reportedly joined the race for Benfica frontman Darwin Nunez after losing hope in the race for prolific Fiorentina striker Dusan Vlahovic after a successful summer January transfer window. The Gunners are continuing to keep their fingers on the pulse of the market as they seek to identify potential recruitment opportunities. Chelsea offered Lewandowski. The club newly devised transfer strategy centered around signing young players has seen them improve their fortunes this season. Yeah. We know the strikers are busting out. Aubameyang's moving mad. According to Uruguayan outlet, they claim Arsenal have now decided to join Atletico and Dortmund. I mean, if I'm him, I go Atletico. Pardon me, in the race. He's got 8 goals in 10 games. And, he batted that. They played a team with like 7 players where they had no players due to COVID and went 7-0 up. Apparently, Nunez was initially a target for Brighton in the summer of 2020 before Benfica stuck a deal with Almeria. Didn't do too much at Almeria. Was a bit hit and miss, I would say. United have scouted him on more than one occasion, and everyone probably scouted him as they look to see and probably not miss out on the next couple of targets. What's this as well? Newcastle carry out survey to beat Jose Mourinho and Arsenal cut price transfer. So we've been linked with Dennis Zakaria again. He's also been linked with Manchester United, Man City again as well, and obviously Chelsea. So yeah, we've been linked with him. I don't know if there's any truth in such. But if we go back, where's that Uruguayan outlet? All right, so bit of an underkill. It just says here, people, Arsenal, Atletico, and Borussia Dortmund are interested in signing Darwin Nunez. The Benfica would not accept less than 40 million for their striker. I mean, that's right up our street, man. That is right up our street. Maybe a tad early for Nunez to come Prem. It is, but at the same time, it's probably too early for him. It's probably too early for him, for Adeyemi, for Isaac to probably be the main strikers for clubs. But I'd argue, surely, unless you find another situation like Aubameyang where it's a striker at the time that's scoring goals available for a certain price, we need to move for these players before their levels, Vlahovic, you probably needed to have done it last year. When these guys, like with Karim Adeyemi, when the world's talking about you, it's probably a myth. So, how many we're not probably going to, unless you do some extreme scouting, we're probably not going to find a striker that's ready immediately, man. So it is what it is. Human being, I see your nonsense. Don't worry. A football manager business as well later, people. 40M, put that there. That's that timestamp. Make my timestamp look all sexy. Let me go to my Twitch schedule. Let me be a kind guy. Have I put Football Manager in there? Well, we've only put one. What's the time now? Big up you lot, Football Manager, because we need to run away. Football Manager 2022 live stream. When is that? That's at change that 2 to a 6 because it's 4 p.m. We don't know how long we're gonna be, and it's gonna be today. Slap that in. That's in the schedule now. People all sorted. Need to get some collabs, obviously, because Monday there's whatever, man. Can't argue if they got a point. Get them in, but we need to, bro. Look at this guy. Hello, DG. Hope you're having a good day. I've got one thing to say though. I don't know what that means, so I'm not going to repeat it. I don't really rate Zachariah anymore, but I would take him for the squad. Fabrizio said we need to speak to Florentina for Vlahovic, not the agent. I mean, naturally, you've got to speak to the agent and the club he plays for. Just answered that. How do you feel about Henry's comments about Aubameyang being taken off when the goal was needed? I mean, there's logic to what he's saying, but anyone with two eyes or even one eye that's working or maybe even being blind, you could see Aubameyang needed to call it a day. I needed to come off, you know. He's not scoring goals, so again, he's not the talisman right now. Maybe Henry's doing the devil advocates thing. Maybe it's solidarity with the number 14. Maybe it's supporting the IC3s. But yeah, man. People complain that Pepe loses the ball too often, yet also complain about us not being direct. It's a disadvantage that comes with being direct. Exactly. You know, people, I'm not excusing it, but you can't say you want Tavares to go forward and cry when he's out of position. Of course, you need to get back. But yeah, man. The full-time whistle had barely gone and the Dominic Calvert-Lewin links were flying. Jamie, that's why I'm a bit skeptical now. You have heard we're interested in him prior, but this is where you got to look at it. It's a bit brooky. We need to get a ready-made striker, left wing and creative 8. I would love it. I screamed Vlahovic last season. People don't want to hear it, but now he's badding it up yet again. People hop on the bandwagon. Such is life, TM. Get it done. When you going to collab with Curtis? Hey, when Curtis responds to his messages, mate. Big up Curtis. But I'm sure we'll get something done. Yo, DG, how are you doing after tomorrow? Got my life. I'm alive, bro. After that performance, I'm done protecting Aubameyang. I backed him, but it's time to get rid and replace. Bro, he needs to become not Lacazette, but you need to hold bench. Aubameyang's thing needs to be FA Cup, the cup games, and these things. It's gone on now. Like, we thought we turned the corner. You know, there's been some good performance sandwiched in mediocre ones, man. DJ, I tagged you in KEOWN's comments on Twitter. Let me see what's being said here by Martin KEOWN. Is there an article? All right, come. There's an article still. Love for that. Before we get into that, the difference between us and United yesterday with CR7, we are 3 senior players, 2 centre mids and a striker away from top 4. We can't rely on kids all season. I hear that. And it's true. You know, and if we're going to rely on the kids and the club aren't going to buy anyone and we need to accept that it's a kids things this year, you know, us as fans, we need to not accept what's going on with performances, but we need to accept these are the performances. That's what's going to happen. Fans only want Isaac, and then they're going to cry that Isaac is going to have a tough 6 months in his ball team. Arsenal as a club haven't signed a first-team attacking option for 2 years. That is great if you have Liverpool-level attack. We don't, and it shows. I'm not sure why it hasn't been addressed. There's just too many things that need to be addressed, and then by the end of the season, there's going to be another one. Judging by how we're doing right now, top 4 is a real reach. I don't know where you, man, were going with the top 4 shouts. You're right, bro. Bruno Gomares or Owl would help our current setup. Trust. Cube, I'm tired as well. I want a 30 striker. Martinelli played on the right was a mistake. He's an inside forward, and on the right is far, and the right is far stronger for him, especially with Smith Rowe hitting that shot on his left as well. Well, to be fair, if there was one thing that went right, it was Martinelli off the right-hand side. So I'm not too sure I believe in that, but I hear you, my guy. Should we see what Martin KEOWN has had to say as well, people? As you lot could see here, Martin KEOWN fears Arteta doesn't believe in 25 million ace. Arsenal legend Martin KEOWN believes there may be a problem brewing after Kieran Tierney was left out by Mikel Arteta again. I mean, there's not always a problem. Obviously, everyone wants to play. Someone like Tierney should play, and I'm not saying he's wrong. Tavares has held on to the shirt. Tavares weren't amazing yesterday, but it weren't appalling. I can't say I'll be surprised if he starts against Everton. I hope Tierney's brought back in. I think Tierney's brought back in. But we cry about competition, and then there's this. And someone like Martin KEOWN, who had periods at Arsenal where you wasn't the top centre-back and you was part of a squad, you would get this. One love to Martin KEOWN, and you're allowed your opinions, but obviously when the man them are working in the media, we need to read between the lines. There's a bit of this talk. Let's see exactly what he has said, people. I don't know. When he was asked about Tierney, Tavares has done exceptionally well. Maybe the manager doesn't believe in Tierney as much as we might believe in him. Tavares made a few mistakes at Anfield, and the manager said, I'm not going to drop him. I think there's a problem brewing with Tierney. I mean, but he played Tierney, you know. He played Tierney, you know. He played Tierney when Tierney probably should have been dropped. So where's the logic behind that? He's a real quality player. He's a leader, the type of defender the fans have wanted for years, and now he's not in the team. Other men have taken the chances. He's not been near to coming on in any of the matches. He's got to keep his head down, keep working, and not become a problem for the manager. And I don't think the Flying Scotsman will. He doesn't strike me as the type of lad who's going to stick around if he doesn't get game time. I mean, at some point he'll have to review it, but he's been getting game time ever since he signed for this club, and he just needs to hold the bench right now. When you get your shirt, remind man what you're on and why Kieran Tierney should never be dropped. But beyond that, it's not a thing. Like, we cry about depth, we cry about repercussions for playing bad. When man are playing bad and they're dropped, there's that in it. Simple as that. It's as simple as that for me, anyways. But again, what do I know? Just a humble football fan with an opinion, folks. 20, Martin KEOWN claims Tierney and ARTETA bust up. Not really what he said, but that's the timestamps. There you have them, people. They'll all be. I'll put the timestamps in the description after this. A man said, "Yo, why is this in my recommended?" Ask YouTube, my guy, but it's recommended you the illest. And if you don't like me, a baby man will, man. And based on your name, I don't think you see too many of the endangered species around your side. So you get me? If they're feeling the cocoa butter skin, you get me? Shout, man. Shout, man. Haircut still fly. And that, obviously, I'm in a bit of a bad mood after Arsenal. So man can give the rage shillelagh, as I'll call it, to be good. So, yeah, man. Tell your girl, add me on Snap and that. Snap, Insta, all them things there. Hope we shout Everton and see if Dominic Calvert-Lewin is available. Available in Jandal's probably. Yeah, man. All that's changed is that we are playing a little bit better against the smaller sides. Facts. And more facts, man. Boy, man. Pace will fall off with age, but age shouldn't have that much effect on the finishing. It shouldn't have any. I just think Aubameyang has hit a very tough patch of form, I think, but isn't totally finished. I mean, his form might come back, but we've been here for time, innit? It was all last season. Aubameyang, I hope it comes back, but I'm an Arsenal fan first. We ain't got time, innit? You know, we still find ourselves fifth. I want to make a real meal of things, and that's not going to happen right now with Aubameyang. Sometimes dropping, man coming out of the team, you could see a better them when they come back. All it takes is Aubameyang out of the team for a game or two, come off the bench, make yourself a hero. You know, in the build-up to the West Ham game, you start, you do well, and you're a hero again. As we've seen with some periods, we've been, you know, 1 minute Aubameyang's finished, then he's back. Man thought he was back again after the Spurs thing. It ain't bang, so I haven't got time for this, man. He's become one of these hot and cold players. We don't know what he is. He used to be like a Tierney, like a Xhaka. I mean, man said Xhaka, like a Tierney, like a Saka, where in Gabriel, where we kind of knew what we was getting. We don't know what we're getting with Aubameyang. He's hot and cold now, so do that off the bench. DG with the algorithm, blessed. That's why hitting the like button does bits. Overall, most of Tierney's absences have been through injury rather than being dropped. I think KEOWN is reading a bit too much into things. Facts, man. We just haven't got time to carry people, you know. I'm the biggest fan of Saka there is in Smith Rowe. There was a point they could have been dropped this season. You know, around Brighton, it was looking like Odegaard or Smith Rowe. Smith Rowe did his thing. Saka, let's be real, there's been times he could have been dropped. Aubameyang could have been dropped. Tierney, we were calling for him to be dropped. It's not because I want to. It's a squad game. If you're not doing the business, you're not doing the business. AUBA is finished. I accepted that after he didn't kick off after his hat-trick against Leeds. Was it a hat-trick against Leeds or was it West Brom? If Aubameyang doesn't score, he don't do nothing. At least Laka can overcompensate with the build-up play, and that allows Laka to get away with probably not being a good goal scorer. If Aubameyang's not scoring, bro, he's not bringing that into the table, bro. Like, man said those front flips took too much out of him. Martinelli is the new Ronaldo. Got a long way to go before he could ever be mentioned in that. Still going to retain faith in him, man. You just need to hold bench, man. You're going to need to be used for the squad throughout this season, but you need to taste bench, car. You ain't been levels. It's simple as that. Like, we've tried to play you through form. We've played you left wing. We've played you alone through the middle. We've surrounded you with the Haaland lads. Lacazette's come in and, you know, for a minute it looked like there was something. You know, we dropped out of Aubameyang. We tried to give you, you know, big game, character needed, Old Trafford, evening at the lights. It ain't banged. Everything's been tried. It's time to come out of the team. Simple as that. Come out of the team now, man. It's long. And obviously, people, I'm going to be live on Twitch at 4 p.m. Make sure you're there. I've dropped the link. But I would love Anthony. But if it's Football Manager, I ain't buying Anthony. I bought Anthony. He's all on what? Last season, he got what? I played him 28 times. He got 3 assists and no goals in the league. Getting PTSD from that. And I mean, that tells you everything. To be fair, Eddie played the day before in the cup game, but that tells you everything. That tells you why Balogun needs to, you know, kiss goodbye to Arsenal and touch alone. You know, Eddie's ahead of him in the pecking order. You know, and that's because clearly he's more ahead of you at this moment because he's been exposed and he's clearly doing better in training, blood. Which striker and centre mid would you take in Jam, bro? ID, big up yourself, cause I see on Instagram you got engaged. So shout out to you. Striker's a techie one, obviously. You know, Vlahovic would be lovely. Adeyemi. All the names were linked with, but we can't do them ones there. Centre mid again, AUBA, Bruno Guimaraes, all these sort of ones would be lovely and right up my street. I mean, it's completely different and it's not actually solving anything. But Tuchemani over there at Monaco, you know, they just go France and take a risk on someone, but it's not gonna happen, man. The whole striking situation's a mess, bro. I mean, if you could get Haaland, agent Haaland, why not? But that one there is probably a myth as well. A hot mess. It's all a mess. There's, you know, no one's scoring. There's a bag of strikers on the books, but no one's undoubtedly the number one. Midfield, there's nothing really going on. I'd say the only thing that gives me any sort of pride is our defense. And, you know, we're not keeping mad clean sheets. I just like what Tomiyasu's brought. You know, I'm still a Tierney fan. I like what Tavares has brought. It goes without saying Gabriel and Ben White have been decent. I'm not saying Ben White is amazing, but I don't feel Ben White's been getting the praise he deserves. Fair enough, he got sat on his arse yesterday by Ronaldo, which wasn't his fault, and against Liverpool. Unpopular opinion, and I said it then. I think Ben White in the last 3 games has been really good. Like I really like what the jury's still out on Ben White, but I think Ben White's been really good. You know, so that's it, man. Xhaka was evidently missed, but if Xhaka is pressed and bypassed in midfield, which we have seen what's said, it's always the one that isn't involved that's the messiah and the difference winner, which I don't disagree. Eddie is ahead of in Arteta's selection, which means nothing to me since Arteta's out of his whip starting Aubameyang. It's got to mean something because it paints a picture as to why Balogun isn't getting game time. Like, you know, and this is why we should have either given him game time or him and his advisors or the club should have went and got him alone. Like, you've wasted, I wouldn't say wasted 6 months, but you've not played football. He needs to, these last 6 months from next season, he needs to do it, man. Emil Smith-Rowe's top scorer in Aubameyang is a problem. Boy, Arteta is the problem. Switch the managers from yesterday's game and you're switching who's coming away with the points. Fair enough. Disagree. Tierney needs to be back in for next game. Tavares ain't ready. Things I do to see Haaland at Arsenal in an Arsenal shirt. Boy, can't see us finishing higher than 6th, and that may be too difficult. But I accept Arsenal for they are. As I said, I got no expectations, bro. I expect when I had expectations, you lot couldn't come up with it. All I expect is that you just make a meal of, you just remain in this shout for Europe until the end of the season. I don't have expectations. I think expectations comes with a certain level of consistency, and I see it in very few of these players. So I can't demand that. I can't ask that because I know you ain't got it deep down fundamentally, in my humble opinion, anyways. But what, like I always say, what do I know about football, bro? Where are you from, Narnia? The only negative in White's game yesterday was that lazy clearance. Yeah, well, I wouldn't even say lazy, but it was a bit nonchalant, and obviously United made us pay for it, if that makes sense. I don't know whether I should cut up some of these individual clips for you lot or just leave things as they are, but it's what it is. There are at least 2 to 4 transfer windows away from anything promising happening. Yeah. We desperately, big up all the members, desperately need an 8 and a striker. But it's more a mentality and positional thing, because as much as I think we need this, I can't convincingly, obviously a better striker is going to score goals. I can't tell you that if you sign Lewandowski, Haaland, that they're going to bag goals at Arsenal, because what I would want to see is I can see chances being created, and it's a case of Aubameyang is not finishing, which Aubameyang isn't finishing, but we're not creating that many chances, you know. Like we go into games talking about after the chances we've had, you know. We can all remember Martinelli had some, you know, Aubameyang's had at least 2, Saka's had about 2, you know, handful. You know, Lokonga created 6 chances against Newcastle, and all the fans waffling about the statistics. Shout out to Lokonga. No one can remember these 6 chances. I remember the one good pass for Saka. It's not a criticism of Lokonga. It's a criticism of the lack of attacking intent. You know, in the same way, signing better defenders does help, but doesn't mean you're going to just improve defensively. Signing better midfielders doesn't mean anything. Signing better strikers don't, you know. So I don't know. I still see gaps in our game. I do think if Arteta had better competent players that he trusts wholeheartedly, you'd see a bit more of a song. But at the same time, this is his squad. So I can't convincingly say better players mean more. He had 3, not 6. I just remember is it AFC stuff and all them things, they were gassing it, man. But the thing is, what is a chance? You know, again, what is a chance created? You know, we live in a day and age where, you know, I could pass you the ball in our own half. You can dance past the whole of that team. I get an assist. So it all depends what's going on, man. It all depends what's going on. It all depends what's going on. Still reverting to El Nene in centre mid for big games. Not enough chances created. Not many goals scored from open play all season. Exactly. We can waffle about scoring from set pieces, but we're not doing anything else. Not gonna lie, I love Champions League, but what's the point? We aren't good enough to compete in Europe. Only benefit is your possibility getting pulling power. I can't lie, I hear that, but I need that, man. I ain't since I've started YouTube, you ain't seen a Champions League watch along. I need that. I'm a Champions League sort of guy, man. So I need to be in Champions League, innit? In fact, I'm still there. You know my thing, PSG, and that. I ain't even wearing that Juventus top again. I can't lie, Allegri's moving mad. You know, it's looking like I'm gonna have to grab a Real Madrid one. That's looking like the place to be at this moment in time. Bayern Munich's always a safe bet. Trust, I only judge clear-cut chances as well. I don't think we create too many. All these forward pass stats, progressive pass stats, chances stats created at all BS. They all pay a picture. But if I pass it sideways on the halfway line like someone and someone shot from there, it counts as a chance created. Exactly. So it's about what you're seeing, man. No one can say we're creating chances, man. And it's we've got a lack of movement. You know, it doesn't look like there's too many plans there, man. You know, it would be a miracle. It would be nothing short of a miracle, broski, man. Nothing short of a miracle. But boy, man, we have to hold our L when we go again, man. What more is there to say, man? What more is there to say? There isn't absolutely more that could be said. It is what it is, you know. There's you know, fundamentally no one's died. We've got our life. We just need to go. You know, is what it is. I don't know why we're dilly-dallying on the ball. If we knew, I would. If we had an answer, if I had an answer, I would tell you, lot, man, because I can't understand it myself. You can actually check out my actual. There's 11 minutes of my raw reaction of the game from yesterday here. If you're looking at that, people, as I said, make sure you're following me on Twitch. But yeah, we've been here for 2 hours, man. First things first, I appreciate your 304 likes. I appreciate that. I appreciate everyone who's offered their opinions. Everyone that's made this, you know, whether you've just watched, whether you've commented, whether you've presented questions, whether you've been like South London, where obviously he added me on Twitter and I didn't know Martin KEOWN had something to say. You lot make it for what it is, people. Win, lose or draw, it's a pleasure to be on YouTube and Twitch. And obviously Monday we'll be doing a watch along for Arsenal Everton. Sunday we'll do some previews. Saturday, you're at least going to get one live stream, West Ham versus Chelsea at the very least. It is what it is, people, man. It is what it is. It is what it is, man. It's a pleasure. Hopefully, we'll be more positive spirits in the next game. But for now, enjoy what's left of your day, morning, hour, whatever you lot. Have a great week. Have a great end to the week. Better yet, stay in good health and check out the rest of my vids. Make sure you're watching the Football Manager content. Make sure you're here on Twitch in a couple of hours. Obviously, make sure you're checking out the reaction content. Make sure you're just staying safe and you're supporting, subscribing, and the rest. Have a good day. It's been 2 hours. I'm out.
suspended.
I think it's like